back to another episode. Happy Tuesday, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Waiting on Rudy, had to restart real quickly. Also, guys, like I mentioned, for those who saw the post of the stream for tonight, looks like Nefty will no longer be streaming with us. He says the debate is more important than collecting, so that was all he needed to say to me, to let me know where his heart is at, where his mind is at. If politics are more important for you and more important to you, God bless you. God bless you. And God bless America. Welcome, guys. Just waiting on Rudy. Let's see who's in here real quickly, and then we get started. Let me say hello to you guys. Where am I? Where am I? All right. Let's see who's in the house with us tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button as well. Thank you, guys. We got Exotic Car. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome. This is Jazzinc. Fully do. What the hell are you saying? I don't even know what that means. I don't speak peasant, okay? We got Joker J in the house. Welcome.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa means what's up.
We got Ernesto in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Let's see who else. We got Joe. Welcome, Joe. Nice to see you.
I'm doing.
Welcome, Joe. Do you collect on your... We got Christian in the house. Welcome, my
I'm doing.
For being here. Guys, if you guys thought part one of Jazzinc Gate was steamy, wait till we get to part two tonight. You guys are gonna be like, oh, we're gonna point out a few things that I had noticed in the past. I didn't really care about it. Doesn't affect me, right? But it's getting to a point now where it's getting kind of, what's the word I want to say? It's kind of like a slap in the face what's happening right now. And I'm going to explain once we get into that conversation, but it's kind of like a little bit disgusting, okay? A little bit disgusting. But like I said, we're going to get into that. Christian, welcome, my friend. Nice
I'm doing.
I don't even remember if I said hello to you, but hello. We got late as usual. Unbelievable. We got Ryan. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
I'm doing.
Guys, don't forget that like button. There's 34 of you guys in here. Thank you guys for being here. Fabulous. This guy. Nefty. He says, Fab is late because he's getting his bunny ranch ready for Nefty. Who is Nefty? I used to know a Nefty in a galaxy far, far away, a very long time ago. And Bo!
How you doing?
Welcome, Bo. Let's see. Ready to talk about some figures and hard drive. Oh my god. We got Derek in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa means what's up.
Let's see who else is in the house. Oh, we got Giovan. Welcome, my friend. Nice to see you. Welcome, everybody. We got Carlos, my friend. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Charlie, my friend, Charlie Brigante, how you doing?
Nice to see you. Are we going to have a debate? If you're talking about Trump and Harris, I think it's happening already. That's why Peasant Nefty's not here, because he felt that was more important than this. That's all he needed to let me know. I got the throw notification. Look at this guy, letting people know that he's collecting while not being on the stream. Unbelievable. We got Black Panther in the house. Welcome. Fabi has a new name. That's better. Oh my god. Let's see who else. Thank you guys for being, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. There's 36 of you guys in here already. My god, it only passes. Unbelievable. Oh, look who it is. Wait. We don't know. We didn't know that you were here, but please explain. Please explain it to them.
Oh, yeah, I got the Admiral Thrawn notification. So he's shipping. Well, he's getting charged on the 12th. So we'll see if he ships soon after that.
We got Ash in the house. Welcome. Hello! Yeah, my notification. Well, so Ant-Man, guys, is delayed. Also, I think that's it. That's all I got. Delayed Ant-Man. My tracking for Mandalorian Kenobi and my General Kenobi have been provided, so they're on their way. Rudy, do you collect?
Yeah, I got 3 figures on the way. I should be getting like a nice little haul this Thursday.
Nice. Ash, welcome, my friend. I think I said hello already, but let's see. Christian in the house. Welcome. All right, let's see. I got Cyber.
I'm telling you, it's like perfect timing. We were ready to come on, and the computer just shut down. And I'm like, someone knows.
They're definitely sabotaging your your IP address right now. We got SJC in the house. Welcome, my friend. What's the topic? Just sit tight, my friend. Sit tight. You're about to find out what the topic is. Let's see. Oh, I thought so. Bro collector. What? Guys, best Jazz 89.
Oh no.
Batmobile. Full 360p coming soon. I can't afford a better camera, but I'm trying really hard. You already know. I don't get. Is this like a joke? Or is this a like? Is this a burner?
No? I think there's a burner, and somebody's trying to get us in trouble with some of the prime time YouTubers.
Wait! Did you just say get us in trouble? Because us sounds like a lot of people. You mean you?
Get me in trouble. It's your stream.
Yeah, get me in trouble. You're out of your head. Who am I in trouble with? Please let me know. Somebody, please, whoever I'm in trouble with, please don't get me in trouble. Oh my God. We got Albert in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Let's see who else is in here. We got Luch in the house. Welcome, Luch. Hello. Yak.
Konnichiwa, bitch.
Let's see. We got Big Dog in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Rudy, do your hello to Big Dog.
What's up, Big Dog? No woo from me.
No, come on. Don't be weird.
No woo from me. No.
Don't be weird. Come on, man.
No.
Yes, guys.
No way.
R.I.P. James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Kind of sad news, man.
Very, very sad. We got Fred in the house. Welcome. Let's see who else is in here. All right, I think we got everybody. Oh, we got Leo, my friend. Welcome. Nice to see ya.
Konnichiwa means what's up.
And a lucky winner will get a nice special. Oh my God, Rob, guys! I just heard the news from Rob. He says he will be at New York Comic Con this year. So, Rudy.
Nice.
Looks like we're going to have to jump Rob. Oh, man. That's exciting. So far, I think we have, 3 people? Me, you, and Mike?
That's pretty much it, right? Because Nefty said no.
Nefty said no. Jay said no. Rob said yes. Luge said, I don't collect. Bob is farming. That's it. What's his name? Will the Thor out like a light.
Oh
Unbelievable.
man.
Unbelievable. So yeah. So bring your gat and then stay ready, Rudy. Can you imagine? Oh man. We got Chris in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
I'm doing.
All right. So let's see who else is left. Oh, we got Ren the Collector. Look at you. Welcome, my friend.
Hello!
Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. All right, I think we got everybody because I know Rudy is very eager to get started. There's a lot to talk about, guys. Like I was mentioning earlier, there is a personality trait that I had noticed earlier that I will point out. And it's kind of, again, like I said, it's kind of a slap in the face. But let's get started, Rudy. So we're going to go over the figures and the announcements that Rudy didn't go over yet, which one of them is the Beetlejuice. For those who watch Rudy's videos, you hear him mention a lot that his favorite movies and stuff, and Beetlejuice being his favorite movie of all times. I feel like this is going to be a figure that he's going to get two of at least because he needs to display both head sculpts. So Rudy, let them know if you collect or not.
Already starting off on that foot. You know what's funny though? I did over the weekend, like on Sunday, I think my wife and I ended up watching the original again because it's been so long since I watched it.
It's such a good movie.
It's a good movie, but you know what I forgot? I forgot that Beetlejuice is barely in that first movie.
Like
it's
he's in the storyline of the couple.
The couple, exactly, and he shows up at the end. So I for a movie called Beetlejuice, I had forgotten just because it's been a while. I think the sequel is supposed to be he's supposed to be in it. He's like the focal
more
point.
of him, like it's all him. Yep. So, what are you trying to say, that you're not collecting because he wasn't in the first movie, but this is?
Oh no. I gotta be honest. We were talking about this because it's one of those things. When we talk about what you plan ahead with Hot Toys, these are the curveballs that Hot Toys will throw you, right? The one-off figures that nobody expects them to do, that come out of nowhere that you're very tempted to get. And I mean, it's like the Indiana Jones, right? The John Wicks, the Prey figure. Throw this one in there. It's a great looking figure. From what I think, from everybody that's seen it, it seems like a great movie. So it's very tempting. I've been telling myself I don't know where it would fit in my collection, but every time I look at the pictures, I just think, is it something that I really want to pass on because it looks so good, right? And it's such a unique character. When else? I mean, I know we have the sideshow version, right, from the original movie.
I was going to get into that with you. So now seeing the sideshow one, knowing that it's improved, knowing that it's better than anything sideshow has ever made before that. And now you have obviously sideshow from the first movie. You have Hot Toys from the second movie. Does that make it more appealing to you being able to have both movies, even though one is sideshow and it will not be as good as the Hot Toys version, or are you just not collecting anything at all, like regarding Beetlejuice?
No. If I get any, I think it's going to be the Hot Toys one.
Of course.
Just because that sideshow one, look, I'm not saying it looks bad, right? It actually, it's a pretty decent looking figure, but it's pretty expensive. How much is that when retailing for?
$330.
$330 for the sideshow?
Oh no, $300 for sideshow.
But $300 for $30, I'm getting. I could get. The Hot Toys one is going to be better quality, and you get that diorama piece, the tombstone, right? So, I don't know that I need two, and if I end up getting one, I think it's going to be this one because it's Hot Toys, right? It's just going to be the better product overall. At least that's been my experience with sideshow.
You don't sound very excited about this figure at all. Like, you're talking if you were to get it. What is it about? Is it because you haven't seen the movie yet, the second movie, that you're not attached to the character? Is it something about the figure that it's not doing for you? Is it the head sculpt? And how do you feel about the fact that we get this funky head sculpt?
No. The figure looks amazing. The figure looks. I mean, I think that head sculpt looks awesome. And then look at the accessories, right? The heart, then he's got the thumb with the light on it, right? It's just a great looking figure. For me, the only thing that's causing me to a little pause is one, yeah, I haven't watched the movie yet, right? So I'll probably once I watch it, I'll probably say, okay. Joker J knows. We were just talking about it about Fallout, right? I finished the TV show and watching season 1 finally, and I went to order a couple of figures from 3-0. So sometimes you can't help yourself. So
Oh no,
I'm
no,
sure
oh, no.
I'm sure
You
this is
can
gonna
help
happen.
yourself. You can help yourself, but when Joker J forces you to collect, it's a different story.
No, but it looks good. It looks good, man. I think right now the only thing is like, where would it go? Because think about the collection, right? It's a bunch of superheroes.
Right.
It's a bunch of military, a bunch of action movies, and I do have the sci-fi stuff, right? Like Predator, and some video game stuff. But this is such a unique piece. It's like, where does it fit in? Um, but at the same time, the collector in me, the slight OCD person or who wants to have some of these pieces, I'm like, it's very tempting.
See,
So
here you go. This
then
is
doing
Joker
it.
J's technique on Rudy. I should pass on this, but Rudy should definitely get this. See, this is Joker J 101 right here. So you're forcing Rudy to collect, and Rudy doesn't know what to do with himself.
Oh man.
Warhorse, welcome. What about Monica Bellucci Artisan? Monica Bellucci. All right. So Rudy,
Yeah.
regarding this specific head sculpt, how do you feel about that? Do you think it's a good it's a good thing that they went that route with that funky looking head sculpt? Obviously, it's from a scene in the movie. Do you think it was necessary? Do you think it gives us value by adding a second head sculpt that looks like this? Do you think it would have been perfectly fine not getting it and getting a cheaper figure and make it more enticing for people, right? Because at $330 or whatever it is, $315 or $330,
Right.
it's not that cheap. Okay.
No, once you throw in your shipping from Sideshow and your
Correct.
taxes,
Right.
unless you get it from somewhere else, but let's say you're getting it from Sideshow, it's expensive.
Right. So not only that, right? So not only do you have the tax and shipping at $330 with the second head sculpt, but you have the fact that again, it's a new movie. It's been a long time since the first movie. Are people still very, very attached to the character to the point that they're willing to just, all right, we haven't seen the movie, let's pre-order this one anyway because I love Beetlejuice that much? Or do you think people are going to wait and see, this will sit, it's an MMS, let's wait and see how much cheaper we could get it for?
I think you're going to have people waiting on this. I think you're going to see people playing the blue screen game on Sideshow, because I think that's where I'm probably going to end up deciding is I'm going to be trying to get my other figures, and then once I watch the movie, if the movie is really good, then I'll probably be more inclined to order like on the spot. And if it's not, but it's still decent, and I start seeing this go into potential wait list, I think FOMO is going to take over, and that's where I might decide to just jump on it. But I think a lot of people are going to hold off on it if they haven't seen the movie. Again, movie seems to be really good, right? People seem to be really liking it. It made a decent amount at the box office. So,
and I just saw it's the #1 movie. Like they put that, that big number movie of whatever. I did see that too. So.
And I think this sculpt is great, right? I think for a character like Beetlejuice, this works, right? Like, we're not talking about Thor, we're not talking about Iron Man, Tony Stark, right? We're talking about Beetlejuice. I think this goes along with what you're used to seeing, so I think it's a great addition.
Now, the fact that they went, goofy like this, right? Again, do you think it's necessary for the figure, or would you have been perfectly okay without something like this? Obviously, again, I'm asking you this. You haven't seen the movie. You don't know, if this is a great scene from the movie. You don't know if this is an important scene from the movie, right? We don't know any of that. But knowing, from what we've gotten from Hot Toys in the past, this is, to me, at least as far as I remember, the funkiest head sculpt we've ever gotten by Hot Toys, with popping eyes out like this. We've never gotten anything like this. Now seeing something like this, does this excite you for the future of things that they're capable of doing, as you can see, or not really?
No, I think it's every time I see Hot Toys jump into a line like this, right? or even if it's a one-time figure that they're gonna do, I think it's great to see because it opens up the possibility for them to do interesting things, right? Like even I think as collectors, right, we like to collect certain lines, but when you see things that are unique like this and that look this good, because even though it's wacky, this looks great. The eyes look awesome, right? The detailing on the sculpt, the the eyebrow lines, the furrowed brow. There's just so much to like here. Um, I think it shows what Hot Toys is capable of if they want to do stuff, right? And sometimes we accuse Hot Toys of doing the same thing over and over, right? Because I know I've done it, even though I like collecting Iron Man figures. It's like, here we go, another Iron Man. Here we go, another Trooper for you Star Wars fans, right? So we're always talking about, oh, they're sticking to these IPs. So I love it when they branch out into this stuff, right? It's not always a home run, but something like this looks amazing.
So
and
now,
it's got, yeah.
go ahead. No, I was gonna say.
No,
so
no.
go on with that thought of this is exciting to you, right? This is something different, right? So
Right.
we've been getting Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Marvel, Star Wars, Marvel, Star
Right.
Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Marvel. So now you see something like this. Again, you just mentioned is very exciting. You're not the only one. A lot of people got very excited about something new, something refreshing, something different. Something that we haven't gotten. Number one, we never got a Beetlejuice from Hot Toys. That's number one. And number two, again, it's something different. So my thing is, even with all of those things I just mentioned, it's still not giving you that much desire to pre-order this thing. Why is that?
Right. Well, I usually have to have a connection to. It's very rare when I just decide to pick up a figure, right? So I usually have to either really like the show it's based on or the property it's based on.
If it's something, if it's a new character, or if it's just a figure in general, because I feel like, for example, you love Marvel, so
Yeah.
I don't think that Hot Toys needs to sell you on any
No.
Marvel figure. You know what I mean? That's
No,
what I mean.
Marvel, I'm at the point, right? And I think I've said this to you before. I'm at the point where I don't even need to see the movie. I'm so deep in
That's-
Marvel that if they put out a new character, as soon
That's
as we
my
have
point.
a character that I've never gotten in the collection, but it's a cinematic version of a comic book character, it's a day one pre-order, right? I don't even need to see it. Now, for something like this, like Beetlejuice, again, it would be a one-off, right? Because I have nothing else like this in the collection. I really don't have any horror figures. I think the only slight horror figure you could call would be the zombie Strange,
right?
Dead Strange is probably the most gruesome figure I have in the collection at this point, right? So
Gruesome, like meaning what?
like scary, like a horror element figure.
Gotcha,
Because
gotcha.
again, everything else, even
So you don't have the
even
zombies. You don't have like the what do you call it? The Deadpool zombie, whatever the hell it was.
No, I didn't get that one either, right? So it's gonna be there. What does this go into, right? Because you can have your classic 80s movies, but what do I have there? I have Rambo, I have I have Arnold Schwarzenegger figures, right? You've got all those. Even my third party figures are from those action movies,
Right.
and then you're gonna have Beetlejuice by himself, right? He'd really have to be by himself at that point, and that's the one thing that gives me a little pause. But who knows? I'm probably gonna watch the movie. I'm probably gonna like it, and then I'm probably gonna want to order it. So
and the Tulsa King, don't forget. Don't you dare leave that figure out.
no, that's a great figure, by the way. Don't knock it.
So another thing that I was gonna bring up was, the fact that it's an MMS figure, right? That to me says one thing: they're gonna overproduce it. Lately, or at least forever, right? Not forever, lately. Because remember that in the past, once anything came out, it would just sell out immediately. Now the one line that it's sitting for Marvel mostly is the MMS, right? CMS a little tricky depending on what it is. TMS, another one depending on what it is. But MMS seems to be the main line that's been sitting. So the reason I'm not stressed out over this figure is because of the fact that it's an MMS. I'm definitely getting this figure. If I want to get it, obviously, if I want to pre-order, I can pre-order it. But obviously, I'm going to look to get it cheaper. Even if it's a $20 discount, it'll be worth the discount, right? It's not a figure that my collection is dying for. I also said I may get the sideshow, most likely get the sideshow one as well. Obviously hoping that when the videos start coming out of it, that it's decent, that the body's decent. The problem is to find somebody doing the review on that Beetlejuice by Sideshow, and somebody trustworthy doing that, right? Somebody who I can trust. This is why I don't watch anybody. This is why I just buy my own stuff. And if I like it, then I like it. If I don't, then I don't. But for me to let somebody else tell me what I like or tell me what to like, that's why I never watched anybody. That's why I've always felt that, it's going to be biased one way or another. It's going to be biased. What if he likes things that I don't like? And he's telling me that's true. You know what I mean? He's telling me that everything's so great, right? And I'm like, I don't. How can you call that great? I don't. That looks ugly. You know what I mean? So this is why I don't watch anybody for anything, especially when it comes to figures, because I like experiencing opening the figure myself. I don't need to see somebody else opening a figure that I'm going to get, whether it's a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later. I want to get that experience and experience it myself. I don't need to see somebody else, living that moment when I'm going to do it too, just obviously further down the line. So that's how I believe that this figure is going to be sitting. I doubt, if it sells out, then it sells out. It is what it is, but I doubt this is a figure that's going to sell out. If it would have been the Beetlejuice from the first movie, I think it would have been a different story. I think it would have caught more attention than this one. Number two, I think there would have been a higher chance of getting the Winona Ryder character as a figure by Hot Toys if they would have made the first movie one. That's just me, right? I would have loved to see that, but who knows, right? Now, the diorama, Rudy, is it something that makes the figure that much better to you because of the meaning of this tombstone, or do you think the figure would have done well without the piece?
I think it would have done well without it, but I think they did a great job giving that to us. That's what was memorable from the first movie as well, right? When they call out Beetlejuice, 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 and you see that tombstone. So, was it necessary? No, I think the figure by itself still looks amazing, but I think it's a great ad, and I think it's something that if you like this character, you're going to want to showcase. So anytime Hot Toys throws in a diorama piece, I'm a sucker for it, and I think this one very much goes with the characters. So I think they did a great job on this. And going back to the excitement thing we were talking about, the other reason this is kind of exciting to me is it reminds me of early days of Hot Toys when they were doing the most random things. I don't know if you remember when they did those Mars Attacks figures.
Yeah.
Right, the little aliens that were packaged in. They came in. It looked like one of those old school 60s boxes, right, with the clear plastic. They would do that. They did what? They did one of my big regrets of passing was the Johnny Depp Ichabod Crane from Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, you didn't get him?
I passed on him. I always thought I was going to be able to get him.
You're like Mike and the Tron Cycle. You guys don't collect,
I have the Tron Cycle, dude.
No, but he doesn't. But he doesn't. But I don't have Superman's dad, and I'm the problem. Go ahead.
No, but remember Hot Toys would do this kind of stuff. What was it? Clash of the Titans. They did was it Perseus? And I have that figure too, right? They would do all these one-offs that
remember Dastian, the Prince of Persia.
I have him too.
I have two of those.
He doesn't look like what's his name, Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, not at all. He
still looks pretty good.
No, and the body was nice and thick, nice muscular body.
You know which was the one that cracked me up? You know which one was the one that cracked me up that I have, and it was the Johnny Depp Tonto from
that's a great
Lone
figure.
Ranger. That's an amazing figure.
That's a great
figure. It really looks great. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, see, this is the problem. This is why I shouldn't come on stream with you. Because I start thinking about all these one-offs that I have, and I'm like, I could find a home for Beetlejuice with those characters. This is a problem. This is
Call
why
me-
you should.
Call me Joker J. We got Caleb in the house. Welcome, my friend. So Rob, welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. You made it. Nice to see you. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick. Don't forget yes, guys. There's 11 raffle spots. Please, if you haven't joined, message me if you like to join the raffle. Message me privately, and I'll let you know how to get in. 11 spots left. The first one filled in like 2 hours. This one's been 2 months.
No, it hasn't been that long, has it?
No. It's been like a week. Fab, is it time to give up hope? This guy, unbelievable. I'm gonna do this to you for every person who said Leia, that Leia's coming. I'm gonna ask you guys every day too. Oh, where's Leia, peasants? Where's Leia tonight, peasants? Where's Leia, peasants?
I'm gonna crack up if Leia drops tonight.
She is not coming. Okay, Brad practically a Jazzinc employee.
Wait, where is Brad? He's not joining us tonight.
He's a peasant. That's where Brad is. Brad is being a peasant right now. Okay, Brad. It's crazy how they know Brad is everywhere, shilling over Jazzinc like a peasant. Okay, it's so disgustingly sad, Brad. Cassandra, I feel sorry for you, Cassandra. Wherever you are, I feel sorry for you. That peasant Brad ruining your name, unreal. I'm hearing a lot of non-Star Wars talk. All right, so Rudy, one thing I wanted to mention. What do you think about the fact that they didn't make this a regular SKU and a deluxe SKU, right? They could have easily given us a deluxe with the tombstone and a regular without. Obviously, for people to save money. Obviously, for the marketing trick. Now, why do you think that didn't happen? Do you think if you get a Beetlejuice, a tombstone is a must for the character?
Well, I mean, Sideshow didn't give us the tombstone, right? Didn't they sell it separately?
I think so, right?
Right. So I don't think the tombstone is necessarily a must. I like that they're giving it to us here. I was actually surprised about that because if you look at the Wolverine from Deadpool, right? We got the standard version, and then we got not even a diorama base, right? He comes with the sleeves, and then he comes with a second sculpt. So right. I would have almost expected to have a standard Beetlejuice that's just a figure, right? And then the deluxe would have been the one with the tombstone and that second, like the funky looking sculpt.
Correct.
That was surprising to me. I thought when I saw it, I thought we were definitely getting two SKUs. I don't know if they thought maybe right. I don't know if they maybe thought there's limited interest on this one. And I think they're testing the waters, right, to see what people are gonna respond to, and to all of a sudden issue two versions of it. They might have shot themselves in the foot by giving you a very deluxe one, and that's the only way to get it. Or they might think that they're going to appeal to an older demographic that maybe has a little bit more disposable income, right? When you look at who's really going to like these, it's going to be people our age that like those first movies. So maybe that was the reasoning there too.
Correct. Because I could tell you right now, and not all of them, but a lot of the COVID collectors are not jumping into this. I could tell you that right now, just because, it's not something that they're going to be. And I can tell you the people who wait will most likely get this for a good deal. I tell you that right now. Because that's what
I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping to do.
Planning on doing 100%. I need a Hot Toys Beetlejuice in my collection. It's just that simple. But I can tell you, I am not looking to pay full price for this because I know it's going to be sitting, or at least I hope that it'll be sitting in a few months after it's completely released. Or if I could get it, cheap enough earlier than during a pre-order, then why not?
Yeah, no. I think this is one. It's hard to pass on this one because it looks so good, but I think we can wait on this one.
Oh yeah,
I think there are other figures, especially like you said before, with the limited way that Hot Toys is doing things, right? The artisan releases, the limited pieces like the Troopers, and not only that, right? You've got other companies kind of doing some of that same thing too. I think this is one that you can potentially wait and try to get on a deal. I think you're 100% right.
Absolutely. I mean, again, that's what I'm hoping for. Most likely it'll happen because of the fact that it's an MMS. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing exclusive about it. There's nothing limited about it. There's nothing deluxe about it. So, hopefully that will be the case. We got Mad Planner. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing.
Thank you for being here. What did you call me? I'm glad they are adding the tombstone and another. Yeah. No, I mean, they give you value, right? They give you value, but it's like, is that why they're charging that much money for this? Is it because of those things? Did you guys actually watch the cartoon TV series of Beetlejuice? I never did. I know what it is. I remember seeing like what it was, but I never watched an entire episode of it whatsoever.
I never watched it either. I knew what it was, but I had the typical Latin parents who were like, this is of the devil. You can't watch this stuff.
This is of the devil.
It's demonic. And
Oh
I'm like, oh my God.
William, look at this peasant. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa means what's up.
Crazy. It's crazy because when he gets invited to the streams, he doesn't show up. But when he doesn't get invited, he's here. That's kind of weird. Beetlejuice low stock. Imagine, don't you play with my feelings.
I know. I just checked too. I did the same.
Don't you play with my feelings, Williams.
It's not low stock.
Williams. Hey, what happened here? What happened here, Williams?
But I did the same thing. He put that comment in, and I went right to.
No, because I know what he's trying to do. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, and I will never allow that to happen in public. Okay, here it is, Beetlejuice. Let's see this peasant. Let's see who's. 3:30. Where's Harold? Harold, please correct this guy. Harold, Harold. Where's Harold tonight? Harold, this guy with the misinformation all over again. Harold. Well, yeah, that is true. His phone doesn't allow him to get on the streams anymore, which is kind of weird.
Wait, StreamYard changed some stuff, right? It looked
they updated. Well, they updated their system, and now we could do 4K local recording as part of the plan that the one that I have. And so it changed a few things, but still, it shouldn't not let you stream. You know what I mean? This guy, look at him. After we found out, unbelievable. What a mess. Es el diablo. Es el diablo. All right, Rudy. Last but not least, $330. 1 to 10.
I think this is a 10.
10, right?
I think this is a 10.
Now,
yeah.
how do you rate this head sculpt?
Obviously, dude, that's a 10. This is a 10. That's a 10. Look, I know everybody thinks this is wacky, and I agree. It is super wacky, but it's so good and it's so different. I mean, that's what makes it look so awesome. I mean, that's like if I were to get this figure, this is the problem with this one. And no, I'm not going to become you getting two of them.
Oh, I'm getting two.
This is the problem.
You know what it is? Like the fact that again, they're two completely new head sculpts that we're getting. Okay, new in the sense of what? We've never gotten a Beetlejuice by Hot Toys, brand new. We've never got a eyeball popping head sculpt with a open mouth and a tongue that's 3 feet long either, right? So it's gonna suck. Whoever's getting this and is only getting one, it's gonna obviously you're gonna go for the most iconic, which is his head sculpt. I get it, but if you get this in hand and you see how good it looks, and you're like, man, now what? And I have a feeling that's gonna happen to me. That's what happens every time. I told you guys with Thor, I wasn't gonna get two. I ended up getting two. I told you guys for Mighty Thor, I was maybe getting the second one. Of course, I got the second one. Just because I hate wasting the head sculpt, and I have a feeling that's gonna happen with this too. And
because look at how good they look, right? At least, like I'll tell you right now, look at the Daredevil figure, right, from She-Hulk. That was not a problem for me.
Oh,
like, the sculpt is so bad. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say before you start with the Daredevil. For those who watched the Mike's unboxing on Saturday, you heard him say how gross and how crap and how garbage that figure was. off camera, he said, "Oh, I actually like the figure." So just making it very clear, and I have witnesses for this. Okay, so I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, that never happened." There were witnesses when he said, and I even said, "I said, oh, you say that shit off screen? Why didn't you say that on screen?" So just making that clear. Go ahead, Rudy.
No, but the only thing I was saying is that's probably been the only figure where I haven't had a debate about which sculpt to use, right? Because the sculpt that came with that one was just ugly, right? So that's the only one where there's been no temptation. But this one, look at how good the regular sculpt looks, right? It looks like like him now, right? The older version, the teeth, right? The expression, awesome. And then you get that wacky thing with the eye sticking out. I mean,
yes.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
now,
it's awesome.
now, Rob makes a good point here. He says that's almost Hot Toys Grievous price. Do you remember what Grievous was? Was it like $385 or something?
Hold on, let's take a look.
Oh, $375.
It was up there, right?
Yeah, it was $385, I believe. I know it wasn't
It's 370.
Okay, so $370. So you got a die-cast Grievous, which again, I think that's a bad comparison because, you know, even though Grievous is a very, very thin figure, right? It's not a lot of him.
Right.
Paneling, right? He's die-cast now, so his entire core, right, is very, very thin. But the paneling on top of him is what makes him look how he looks. So can you justify a 370 Grievous over something like this? Remember, you get the 4 lightsabers, you get the base. You don't really get much with the Grievous besides the battle damaging. I believe you get battle damage panels, right?
It looks like the special edition has, yeah. So it has the let's see.
Because it's only the coins that are like exclusive.
It's only the coins that are exclusive. They have the same thing, and it looks like it's just the battle damaged helmet, some of the battle damaged chest panels, the hand that's cut off. Right.
So now
That's pretty much it.
with all those accessories you just mentioned, do you think you can justify the 370 for that and the 330 for this? Because if you think about it, they're giving you a decent amount of stuff for 330.
You're getting a decent amount of stuff. You're getting the head sculpt too, right? That's anytime you get a second head sculpt, they're going to charge more money. Here's where I land, right? We've been collecting for a while. These things are so expensive now. So justifying that expense is kind of part of what we do on a day-to-day basis when we collect. Look, I think based on the current market with what you're getting, I think it's in line with what you're getting for a figure of this type, right? Do we have to like it? No, I think this could have been a great at 270, but I think this is what the market, thanks to all our new players in, right? Thanks to Inart coming in and giving you $500 figures, I think this is where we're landing at this point, unfortunately.
And you know one thing too, I feel like another reason why they had to give us a lot of filler stuff, which if you really think about it, it's not a lot of filler stuff for this figure because it's, you know, I'm going to assume it's important things that happen in the movie. Like, for example, we don't know where this heart's coming from. We don't know how his thumb lights up on fire, right? We don't know what the newspaper's about, whatever that pen he's holding. So, in the microphone, all these things, right, that are obviously part of the movie are things that we're going to see in the movie if and when we see it. The fact that the outfit, right? It's very, very easy to make. It's a very cheap outfit. There's not much to it, right? There's no tailoring that goes into it, really. There's no need for it to be sharp. As you can see, he's got like a belly, so he looks fat, right? See, like, so he's supposed to be like sloppy. The outfit's dirty. So I think, and I'm going to assume that because of the fact that not much went into the figure as a whole, right? It's the head sculpt and that's it pretty much, because that outfit is very, very simple, right? There's no metal on it, there's no patches on it, there's no emblems on it, there's nothing that had needed to be glued on it, right? They didn't spend too much time on any of it, right? If you look at the accessories, everything is all separate things. Nothing is on the actual figure. The figure is the head sculpt, the body, and the outfit. So I believe that's why they had to add all these things and include the
tombstone, the headstone
as well for that reason. Again, I could be wrong. We don't know why they did what they did, but That's how I justify, or at least I try to justify, all these things that they added to the figure, because it's not much to it to begin with.
Right. Yeah, I was just looking at, like, say, the John Wick, right, that they had, because that comes with a decent number of accessories, and that's at $270. So you can assume they're bumping up $40 at least for the head sculpt.
Well,
the second sculpt you're getting,
you get
at least.
You get 2 wool head sculpts.
Right. So they're charging you.
Right.
They're charging you for that.
Correct. People
And then
aren't
the
thinking
diorama,
about that. People aren't thinking about the wool head sculpts because it doesn't say artisan. So a lot of people are not, realize, or not remembering at least, that it's an artisan. So there, there's value there. They're going to charge you more for that.
Right.
So you could, if you really think about it and you really get down to it, you could really justify the $330, and I don't think it's overpriced.
I don't think it's I don't think it's outlandish. Is it more than I'd like to pay? Absolutely. But I don't think it's outlandish, again, in this current market, right? This current market, I think this is the norm for a figure of this type. Whether we like it or not, that's another question, right? That's another point to discuss.
I think $330 shipped would have been very fair.
That would have been very fair. The problem with this is, and this is why I'm also hoping, to get one of those $20, if I order from Sideshow, $20 Sideshow things, because at least it'll take care of the shipping, right? Because once you throw in shipping and once you throw in taxes,
that's why I said even those $20
$370 is like $370, $380. So, because shipping to us here in the East Coast is expensive.
Yep.
Like I saw the
$21.
Yeah, the gantry too, the Iron Man, the Mark.
That thing is massive.
Right. I saw that, and it's like your last payment, the shipping is a huge component of that.
Oh yeah.
Thing, when I paid it off.
It's like $40, $50, something like that.
Right.
We got Anthony in the house. Welcome, my friend.
Konnichiwa means what's up.
Welcome. All right. So Rudy, on to the next topic, your favorite. So guys, it looks like this beauty is out. Here are some updates on the head sculpt, which I am very happy with. I noticed what was wrong with, or what was off with the original one. It is what it is, right? What are you going to do? If that's how they made it, right. That's how they made it. There was nothing we were going to, we were going to be able to do. Look at what happened with the Mark 6 2.0 head sculpt. There was no, they didn't refine it. They didn't make it better. They didn't fix it. They didn't do anything to it. It is what it is. That for those who watch my video, if you haven't yet, my video is up for the Mark 6 2.0 with gantry. That head sculpt was, I can't even say disappointing because we saw what it looked like ahead of time. Yeah. The thing is that I hoped that it looked better in hand. I always hoped that it looked better in hand. That head sculpt that they made was exactly the same as we saw it in every single promo picture as it is in hand. There was nothing different. There was nothing better. There was nothing worse. It looks exactly the same without that dark tan that some of the pictures had. But the head sculpt is exactly the same. I think what killed it was, like I said in the video, too much detail, too many wrinkles, too many lines on the head sculpt, and that expression. That smirk, that funky smirk, that weird smirk didn't look good at all. I don't know who chose that expression. I don't know why they went that route, but huge fail. I still give it an 8, but it is not a Tony Stark head sculpt at all. We've gotten way better Tony Starks way before. And let me tell you something. A lot of people hated the Tony Stark head sculpt, and I can tell you, to a certain, I'm not going to say 100% better, but to a certain extent, it looks better than that 2.0 Mark 6 head sculpt. Did you get that one yet, Rudy? No, right?
No, that one comes on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to getting that, just because the gantry, right? That was the appealing thing for me. It's that whole setup, right? So I have to showcase that. Listen, this is a figure that you can use. What's that head sculpt you're getting with the cigar? You can always use it with that. You can always use that Tony head sculpt.
Well, so that may be a possibility. If I once I get that, I may switch it to that, because like I said, that head sculpt, man, that original Mark 6 2.0 head sculpt, it's on the figure right now, right? That's how I have it displayed, but it's not a Tony Stark to me. That does not look like a Tony Stark to me. That that dumb.
They made him too old. They made him too old, and
Yes,
got like
too old, like for no reason, like all these wrinkles and all these lines. And like I said, too much detail. And when do you ever want to complain about too much detail? Never, because you want the more
Right.
detail, the better. But
Right.
it didn't work on that head sculpt whatsoever. So now, Rudy, we are here with Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Obi-Wan show on Disney Plus. Here are the updated pictures of the head sculpt. Remember that I'm going to pull up the original head sculpt and what it was supposed to look like. Let me pull it up real quickly because I have a comparison for both.
You know what I thought
Where
was
is it?
because I agree with you. I ordered that, right, based off of the original sculpt. I liked the show, right? I actually, even though it had its moments that weren't great, I did like the show overall. So I wanted to have an Obi-Wan. But you know what I thought through it too? Obviously the mouth threw it a little bit, but the purge, the eyes, the rolling eye system in some of these older sculpts that they were releasing, sometimes they hit it out of the park with that, and sometimes that made the eyes look a little bizarre. So this is a huge win to me. The upgrade.
The
It's
update.
really something they did amazing. Because look at the eyes, just the eyes first.
Yes,
Look so much better.
That's what I was gonna say. The eyes alone make the figure completely different.
Right.
The eyes
And-
here looked very funky for whatever reason. They made him look like he was squinting for whatever reason, which is why you see all these wrinkles here, all the wrinkles here. Notice how they removed all of those wrinkles, right? They're a lot less noticeable on this son. Obviously, also look at the lighting. He looks more red here. He looks a little bit more tan here. The open mouth, it's still open. It's still open.
It's like they updated, right? Everything, even the sculpt of the, because everybody was saying, right, the in the original, the top of the lip looked a little bizarre. They fixed it, right? They did a good job updating the sculpt, right? In every sense.
So I remember that being a problem, and if I remember correctly, the problem was that he had no upper lip. It was the mustache covering the whole lip, and here they exposed very, very little though. Nothing major, but still you can still see it better than here. It could be from lighting, because if you pay attention, you can see the lip there. Also, the way that they did the beard, right? Look how much more detail looks here, and look how much more it looks like it lost a lot of detail here as well. The hair completely different as well. They changed the hair. They made it look better. One thing I want to ask you though, Rudy, because I find it very interesting how they could easily just fix a head sculpt. And obviously this happens before, right? This doesn't just happen last week. How long do you think after announcing a figure, right? So Hot Toys will announce a figure. People will start complaining. How long after these complaints start do you think Hot Toys decides, hey, let's start working on this head sculpt and fix it, because these complaints are valid. These complaints are, if we look at the pictures, we see what they're talking about. How long do you think it takes them to decide to work on that head sculpt? And what do you think makes them decide to do it? Because a lot of people complain about this 2.0 Mark 6, and they still made it, and it looks exactly the same. They didn't bother changing it. So what do you think makes them decide that to change it or not?
I mean, look, on something like the Mark 6, what's interesting with that one is because it's a suit-up gantry, right? You would think that the sculpt was going to be one of the pivotal parts of that figure, because people are going to want, like me, I want to display him with that sculpt and kind of with the gantry getting all the pieces off his armor. So I wonder if those figures were already in production, right? To a degree where they were like, you know what, it's done. We don't want to slow the process down. Something happened at some point, right? Remember when Hot Toys announced it was the 3 sculpts? It was they gave us the Black Panther Shuri, the Jane Foster, and then they did the Tom Holland sculpt. Right. And they had a special announcement just to showcase what they were doing there. And it was basically almost saying, we've got new methods that we're using to make these much more realistic looking. And ever since that announcement, Not every figure, right? Because not like you mentioned the Tony Stark head sculpt. Not every figure has gotten the treatment, but some have, and I don't know what to make of it yet, right? Like a figure like Obi-Wan had a ton of issues in the community, right? Everybody was talking about how it didn't look like him. It wasn't a great sculpt. They were hoping that it would be updated. So there were definitely a lot of voices saying that. But then you have a figure like Mantis, right? Mantis was a figure that I personally thought the original sculpt looked good, right? And I didn't hear like a flurry of complaints about the Mantis. And then all of a sudden they upgraded her, and it was like, wow, you didn't realize how good,
She looked better, right?
how much better they could make her because
Yeah.
the first one looked decent.
Well,
And-
and another thing, there's not really much to her to make difficult, right? You can't really ruin that head sculpt. How can
Right.
you ruin that head sculpt? There's nothing to it.
Right. It's almost like I think there's certain figures they're definitely choosing to improve, but it's almost like they're taking a challenge onto themselves on how much they can improve as many of these figures as they can. Now, how they pick which ones they're doing that with, I have no idea, right? Because you would think popular figures are going to get the best treatment. So you would think
Tony Stark would be the
Tony
first
Stark,
one.
Iron Man is like their bread and butter, right?
Exactly.
Spider-Man too, and they did it with Spider-Man. We got that improved Tom Holland sculpt, right? Obi-Wan is another character. Look at the work they're doing on the Darth Vaders, right? The damaged sculpts, those look incredible.
Yeah.
And they keep on doing these things where even Rocket, right? Rocket got an improved sculpt out of nowhere, right? Everybody was kind of like, it's the same one. Rocket got a brand new sculpt too. So I'm glad we're getting those new sculpts, right? I'm not complaining about those because I'm getting them, but it almost seems like they're taking a challenge onto themselves, and I appreciate that, right? I think this is Hot Toys again dropping that hammer, saying, listen, this is why we're the best. This is why we have all these licenses. This is what we're capable of. I don't know that they're necessarily doing this in response to anybody because I don't think they have to, but I think they're seeing some of the chatter online, and I think they're saying we can make a better product, and if it's not going to cost us that much, why not? Right? And let's just prove to ourselves.
Who do you think is doing a better job right now between Inart and Hot Toys?
Don't worry, I'll wait.
We got Paul in the house. How are you, my friend? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you.
Hello.
We got Luis in the house. Welcome, my friend.
I'm doing.
So go ahead, Rudy.
You know what's interesting? First of all, I don't own any Inart yet, right? The Harry Potter is going to be the first one.
Inart?
The Inart, yeah. Like, I think Inart's doing great jobs with their sculpts, right? And again, this is where we separate out the company from their figures and their products, right? Or what's happening behind the scenes. So I think if you look at that Aragorn, it looks like it's pretty good, right? I think Joker J showed the sculpt for Gandalf, and I think it looked pretty amazing. But at the same time, I think it's difficult when all you're doing is when you're releasing 2 figures a year, 3 figures a year, and when you're charging that much money, and we're going to get into this in another topic, but when you're charging that much money, there's a different expectation for you, right? When you're charging $500 to $600 a figure,
Yep.
right? I expect them to be better than Hot Toys, right? And if they're not better than Hot Toys, I think that's an issue, right? And I think we saw it with like the Artisan Joker that just got released, right? The Imposter Joker. Like people were posting pictures, and I'm like, the Hot Toys one looks pretty damn good.
Way better.
It might be better. You know, at this point,
might be way better. It looks way better. And this
have
is
you gotten your shipping yet or not yet?
Not yet. Not even a notification. But when I did my Inart video, for those who saw it and for those who haven't, you might want to check it out. Because what I said was, and I've said it multiple times, what I said was this: the only reason why Inart's Joker became a thing was because the last Joker from Hot Toys had been like 10 years prior. That is the only reason why that Joker did as well as it did, because there was no competition near it.
Right.
What did I say? I said the moment Hot Toys comes out with theirs, this is going to be old school. This is going to be, gone. This is going to be obsolete 100%. And look what happened. Gone.
Right.
It looks like garbage compared to the Hot Toys one now.
Like I think again, right, when you're only doing at this moment in time, they're only doing a couple of figures at the cost that they're charging, right? At the price that they're charging. I expect near perfection on those figures, right? They better be damn good sculpts. Where I think Hot Toys is proving themselves is not only are they improving their sculpts to something like this that looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? They're improving the rocket. They're improving the mantis, right? They're improving figures that people didn't even really request an improvement on.
Correct.
And not only that, but look at the sheer volume of figures they're releasing that are all bangers, right? Obi-Wan right now. That rocket, I can't wait to get it, right? Mantis, I can't wait to get. Even that Tony Stark, right? That Mark 6. Okay, that's probably one of their weakest sculpts because of what they, over detailed, too old. But look at how good the package as a whole on that is, right? And then for me, I just got those Avatar figures. Look at the range of figures they're giving us. They're giving you things from so many different things that are all turning out, and talking just about the sculpts, they are all turning out so good, it's hard to compete with them, right? And sure, I could say the Aragorn looks fine, right? The Aragorn looks amazing, right? The Gandalf looks amazing. But it's two figures versus an entire library of how many releases have we had so far this year? Like 40 or something? It's insane.
I think it was 5,200. We got Tooley in the house. Welcome, my friend. Keeping track of that because I'm not.
No, I'm not. It feels like, right, we're getting like release, right? I just got, like I said, I got the notification for Thrawn, and I'm still waiting for She-Hulk. I'm still waiting for a couple of others. My rocket still hasn't shipped.
Oh, She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk was also charging soon. She-Hulk was charging soon. And who was the other one? I think that's it. She-Hulk.
Right. I'm waiting for She-Hulk and Rocket at this point.
Yeah, I think She-Hulk and Rocket were the ones charging next.
Right.
Yes, I think you're right. So you're getting those when?
So I don't know. I'm waiting for those. Admiral Thrawn came out of nowhere. Right? That one they just dropped on me, and I was like, I would have expected She-Hulk earlier, but
right. Yeah, no.
Right.
So if you once you get her, then that means mine's right behind you a couple months. So we have Rudy, we have this Obi-Wan now. Here's the figure finally released. So now with the updated head sculpt, looks even better, right?
Yeah.
It's
an amazing figure
in the beginning. As you can see, looks great. The outfit's obviously nothing different with the outfit, but is this a figure that you got? Did you get into the Obi-Wan line at all or no?
Yeah. No. I ordered this one. I wanted this one. I wanted an Obi-Wan in the collection, and
This is
I settled,
Obi-Wan?
right? I said, yeah, this is gonna be my first Obi-Wan.
Also, you don't have the episode 3. You don't have any other like the General Kenobi or the Mandalorian Kenobi.
No. Like I said, with Star Wars, I'm a little like I pick and choose what I get, and I actually like this one as well. So I think I was one of the few people that liked the show, right? I thought it was pretty decent, especially that last fight that he has with Anakin, with Darth Vader. I thought that made it for me, and I kind of overlooked some of the shenanigans. So I wanted to get this line. Like, I liked Reva too, and that's why the Grand Inquisitor, those two look great. So all these standing there together are going to be just a great display.
Did you just say shenanigans? Don't copy his name, okay? So
Freudian slip.
So also, okay. Now look at this. Look how beautiful that looks. I think, was this a remnant trooper or was this a regular stormtrooper? I think this is a remnant because it's got a lot of
That might be a remnant. It's got a lot of battle damage and a lot
of that sand, that yellowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, how deep did you go with the Obi-Wan line? Did you get everybody?
Yeah, I got all of them.
So you have Reva, Grand, Darth Vader, and now him.
Yep.
Wow. Guys, he does collect. Now, there was an updated feature here for those who paid attention. So Joker J had mentioned that he called this a specific thing. I forget what he called them. And as you can see, guys, they definitely changed them. They look like Joker J. If you're in the chat, what did you call these things? Because as you can see now, they look like mummy wraps instead of how they used to look like before, which was, I never noticed. There you go, the leg warmers.
Leg
That's what
warm.
they call it. So they changed the leg warmers, and as you can see, it looks like Moon Knight mummy wraps now. So did you even notice that at all or no?
No, I didn't. I'm actually looking at the
Yeah, look at the
Sideshow
original.
right now.
Look at the original pictures, and you'll see that they look funkier, like in the original pictures.
Hold on, let's see. Oh man, this guy's waitlisted for a while, right?
Yep. But I have a feeling that if you hit the wait list, your order will convert.
We'll process.
100%. Oh, 100%. 100%. There's no way this is selling out by any means. There's no way this is sold out by any means at all. I don't think so. If it is, I'd be very shocked. But then again, it's a Disney series, right? How many did they really make of him? Who knows? So we'll see.
So looking at the older pictures, it does look like the old ones were like pristine. These look a little bit more worn, right? More used.
They look
like,
weathered. They look weathered. They look
yeah.
dirty.
Yep. It's a great looking figure, right? This is an awesome release.
1 to 10, Rudy.
10.
10 all day long.
I think with that sculpt, absolutely.
And now, question: are you messing with the eyes when you get your figures, or no?
I try not to, because they scare the hell out of me when, like, I don't know if you saw my Jake Sully review. I noticed it, like, I didn't notice on the spot, but one of the eyes is slightly tweaked up.
Yep.
And now I'm so annoyed because I'm gonna have to go and try to align that. And
so it's doable. It's just tedious as hell, but it's doable.
Right. The one that pissed me off and was the Mighty Thor, the Jane Foster. Oh my god! Like, I feel like every time I move that, even if I just tap on the thing, the eye goes all cross-eyed on me. So it's just a nightmare to deal with. I can't.
Yeah, so I can't wait for this. I don't even know. Did mine? No, mine's not. I didn't even get a notification from mine yet. So this is not coming anytime soon, at least for me. So Rudy, you want to get into the drama now? Well, let's do it. We gotta get to something before that. Actually, before we get started, before we get canceled, guys, hold on 1 second. Because I gotta make sure that everything is up before we get into the drama. So Rudy, please do me a favor. Don't hold back. Do me a favor. Be honest. Do me a favor. So guys, we got some Inart drama. It looks like Kit posted he made a post that says, just checked and confirmed with Inart that the cloak is not included for dealer batch. It is included for orders from their official store in China only. Same situation as the golden card for Heath Ledger Joker. I didn't even know Heath Ledger had a golden card.
Well, I was about to ask you if you knew that, if you'd gotten one of those.
Not at all. I'd never heard of that. I never knew about it. I knew about the detonator, which I ended up getting. Shout out to Kit. I got one from Kit. But besides that, I didn't know that there was some type of but again, not that it mattered anyway. I was not looking to buy Inart because of the product. I wanted to buy it just because it was a new company, their first product. And that was it. It wasn't because, oh my God, I need to have this in my collection. No, it was to be able to speak on it. It was to be able to speak on the company, to see what the figures were going to be like, to see what to expect from this company, which is why I didn't get the double pack rooted, because there's no rooted figure that is worth $1,000 to me, right? And the fact that they had to sell you both as a double pack was done on purpose to take that money from you that much easier. I didn't fall for that. I don't need 2 rooted figures at $1,000. It doesn't even make sense. So that's why I didn't bother. And we have a super chat from Ash, my friend. He says, Faz, where? This guy, unbelievable. Even though You already know the answer. This is for you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, bro.
No, you.
No, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
No, thank you, bro.
No, seriously, you.
No, seriously, thank you, bro.
No, for real, you.
No, thank you.
If they drop the brown suit Wolverine, you're gonna have to do like a special stream just for Ash at this point, just to prove him wrong and be like, I told you so.
He doesn't understand. See, I feel like Ash is a I can't even call him a COVID collector. I'm going to call him a 2023 collector. Okay. He just started last year. He just started last year. So that's why he doesn't understand the flow of Hot Toys releases and announcements. When you've been around, okay. And if you were, I'm not even going to say if you were the Hot Toys veteran, but if you were around maybe since like, give me a date, Rudy. Give me a date that's not 2023.
Let's say 2018 or 2019.
Yes. So if you had started in 2018, he said no way. Imagine. Oh my God. Let me see. Joven says Gandalf Gandalf is my one and only figure I got from Inart. Their practices are weird, so not getting it. Oh my God. Gioven, that is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. That is good for you. You sound like me. That's exactly what I did. I bought my double pack Joker. I bought my Pennywise B version, and that was it. It's very weird what they got going on. It's very weird how they operate. And I feel like what's going on with Jazzinc right now is what was going on with Inart in the beginning. The people attached, the YouTubers attached to the company were trying to make this seem like it was a great product, a pristine product. It was the best on the market. It was going to kill Hot Toys. And now they're here making rocks. So, Rudy, let's go with you. So tell us how you feel about all this stuff. How you feel about, being an Inart customer and then you find this out.
I mean, look, with the Paul Atreides, right? They were very clear that you could get that they were very clear that you could only get the little mouse with the ordering direct from them, right? So I think it's just like, like you said, you didn't even know about this gold card
At all.
right? So it's like, where did they announce that these things are limited to certain markets? If it sounds like they didn't, right? And that's the issue. It's like, if it's okay if you have like a special edition that's only a special accessory for certain markets, right? Hot Toys does that with not for a market, but for their special editions, right? Their limited time releases. We've seen that from other companies too, like pre-order and you can get something extra. So they just have to be a little clearer on what you're actually getting. And it doesn't seem, because even Kit, right? The fact that Kit is asking and then having to post this is like, he didn't even know about it, right? So it's like, if you're going to do something like this, at least be clear and crystal clear about what you're doing, right? And I think that's the issue with Inart right now. And it's funny that Gioven brought that up and then you brought that up. And I know we're going to get into that when we talk Jazzinc, but Inart, they're on the ropes right now. Like, it feels like, right, the community is turning against them, and you don't even see like people defending them. They're old defenders, right? Like, I barely hear anybody talk about Inart at this point, right? And it all started.
You mean this?
The strands for the
Right, like listen, you've seen some. I've seen some of the early batch Harry Potter reviews. I haven't actually watched them because I'd like to get mine in hand and do mine without anybody else, like kind of anybody else's thoughts in my head. But it doesn't seem like there's that much traction going on, right? Even the Aragorn figures, maybe I've seen a handful of reviews go up at this point, but I think
nobody's gotten them. That's why.
Right, and I think they also. Right, let's say it started with the Hot Toys Joker, Joaquin Phoenix Joker, right? As soon as that dropped, it was like everybody was asking the question, what the hell, right? it was so that started kind of the needle moving away from Inart. And now this batch system that they have where people are still waiting for the Batman figures, right? Like at some point, Kit, I think he even had to post on his site on Facebook that he hasn't gotten them, right? That they haven't even issued like the deluxe one that has the all-in package.
Right.
And I think one of the bigger YouTubers, right, that has had John on their show was even complaining that they haven't gotten their Batman and what the hell is going on with them. It's been forever, right? So it's almost like,
what was John's response?
I think John's response is like, oh, we'll try to do something, but it takes longer to package those deluxes. And it's like, if you've already got the figures and the deluxe is just all of them included, what's really the delay? Right? There's just a bunch of stuff going on with that company. And I think they came out, you know, again, we've talked about it. Let's not turn this into an Inart rant, but they're just not who people or who they were made out to be, which I think a lot of us, some of us kind of expected, right? Some of us expected that wasn't the case, and we would keep on saying, right, they're not going to be Hot Toys. You can't compete with Hot Toys because that was who they were being compared to, right? And I think, listen, let them do their own thing, but as a company by themselves, they may be doing products that look good, but some of what they're doing is just bizarre, right? This batch system has to end at this point, right? I don't know why they're continuing on with this batch system, right? They're talking about QA/QC, but it looks like some of the older figures or the later batches, it's almost like they don't care anymore, right? Like the Gandalf had the ring issue. So I don't know. It just there's something bizarre going on with that. I hope they succeed because they've teased some products that I'd like to get, but they've got to get their house in order.
Let me tell you something. Another red flag from Inart when this happened. I don't know if you remember this, but last year they had a whole list of figures that they were going to make. One of the figures was Black Adam. Do you remember that?
Yep, we talked about that one too.
Right. Hot Toys came out with their Black Adams, and then what did they do? They canceled the Black Adams.
Radio silence, and he had to be asked on a stream, right? John had to come out on a stream, what's happening with your Black Adam, right? Because they didn't officially say, oh, guys, here's the updated list. We've canceled this.
No, they can't. Go ahead.
And then he finally admitted it, right? Like, didn't they have
but
they had Aquaman's Mira in it too?
But here's where I was going with this. So you're here as a toy company to make toys, to make figures, right? To make figures your way, right? You're not here as Inart looking to make figures like Hot Toys, right? Inart is supposed to be its own identity. Inart is supposed to be its own thing, right? You have people in the community right now who swear that Inart is better than Hot Toys, right? So why is that? Clearly because these people like the way that Inart makes their figures, which is obviously not like Hot Toys makes their figures, right? So they're supposed to have their own identity. Why are they canceling Black Adam just because Hot Toys made their own Black Adams? If I'm a company, right, and I'm making toys, and I know that there's going to be competition, okay, and I know that there's a company that is at the top of the mountain, this is what I'm looking up at. If I'm trying to make my own stamp, my own print in the community, right, in the hobby, I want to make my own identity. I want to show you guys what my company could do, right? We're not going to be like Hot. We're going to make 1/6 scale figures. We're going to make them our own way. So what does Hot Toys making a Black Adam, the way they decided to make them, they didn't make one, they made two, right? They made their both Black Adams, how they saw fit, how they felt like they were going to make those Black Adams. Why would Inart decide to not make their own product, their own version of that product, their own take on that Black Adam. Why would they cancel that? Because in their mind, they're really competing with Hot Toys. They really believe that there's a competition there. That's why they didn't even bother giving anybody the opportunity or the option to say, hey, you know what? I like Hot Toys' Black Adam better than Inart, so I'm going to keep my Black Adam.
Right.
So they decided to just completely scrap the project to not even bother to compete with Hot Toys with that character specifically. Why not? What's the problem? Shouldn't you show that maybe your product could have been slightly better? Maybe a lot of people don't like that bulky Black Adam by Hot Toys. Maybe you could have came up with a better looking body, a better solution for the articulation that still made him look muscular, but maybe not so ridiculously, oversized.
But I think right, what we got from Hot Toys was an amazing figure, right? The likeness is there. The body, sure, it's oversized, but The Rock looked huge in that movie, right?
But that's my point. Go ahead.
No, because I think I don't want to say Hot Toys scared them off, but that's pretty much what
No, that's 100%.
That's exactly what happened.
100%.
Right?
But my point is, if you're here, right, you just started making 1/6 scale figures. You're developing your identity. You're trying to see what type of figures you're going to give the community. Why are you canceling projects when you just started making figures?
Right. But we've seen them. But that Black Adam wasn't the only one, because remember they came out and when
I know that's the one I remember the most, but I don't know.
Right, but think about it too. Right, they came out with a lot of promises. They came out. We're doing a 22 Batman Batmobile. Right, we're gonna do the Batpod. Right, we're gonna do the Bat Cycle that Hot Toys already did. There's not a peep about those anymore. Right now, we're getting to Walking Dead. We're getting to other lines that they're doing. Right, they came out promising a ton of things. Right, they felt like, you remember when DC was trying to compete with Marvel, and when the MCU was taking off, and we got Zack Snyder, and DC came out with their list of like 20 movies. We're going to be doing Nightwing. We're going to be doing this. That's going to go into Justice League Part 1, Justice League Part 2, Justice League Part 3. Then we're going to have Supergirl this, right? Scratched when everything failed.
Yep.
Then what? They did it again. Here's another list. These are all the movies. Scratched and failed, right? So that's what it feels like. It feels like they came out with a list with a ton of promises.
But they do this because they're looking in their heads. They're looking to compete.
Right. And I think what we've been talking about, and what I've said about Inart is, look, why are you, and I think we've all said the same thing, even when J&D came out with the Kojin Works line, is why are we getting another Joker? Do your own thing. Right? Look at all the companies that have kind of established themselves in this market, right? Hot Toys continues to be king. They do. Right. And then you look at what 3-0, Power Rangers, Transformers, they do the odd lines here and there. Right. Who else? Blitzway at the time. Now they're not really in 6 scale, but they were doing their own thing. Enerbay. Remember when Enerbay was coming out and they were starting to try to compete, do their Terminator. Then they went to quarter scale figures that looked great.
Enterbay had a RoboCop, 1/4 scale RoboCop
that looked amazing, right? They had the Rambo 3 figure too, right? The Terminator 2, the T-800, and then even they couldn't compete, right? They had that store, and I remember seeing the post on Facebook when their store closed down, or I think they had to reduce it. And then what? They found their little market, right? They found sports, NBA, right? That's what they're doing now. So each company has kind of diversified and found its own path that doesn't really compete with the other players in the market. And that's what I think when we talk about Inart, right? And I hope they succeed, right? Because again, I've got some orders through with them, but that's where you want Inart to be like, all right, you've got all these established brands, you've got all these licenses that are taken up, find your own path. And that's why I think what they're doing with a Lord of the Rings figure, that's a line that they could definitely, take care of as well.
No, it's very true. It's very true. But again, my thing is, if you're here to compete, like for example, my channel specifically, I've had to stream with other channels on the same day, the same hour, whatever, right? I started with a certain day, certain time. Boom, they started trying to come for my times. My point is, why, if I have something to offer, right? I have my own views, I have my own thoughts, I have my own everything. Why would I stop what I'm doing just because there's a bigger channel doing it also? That's what Inart did. Well, Hot Toys did this, so I gotta close shop on that figure because they're gonna beat me on that. Absolutely not. That's what I don't like about it, right? If you're here to make figures, make figures. Let us decide if your figure's crap or not. Why are you teasing us and telling us you're gonna give us all this product and then be like, just kidding? That's what I don't like, right? If you got into it knowing that Hot Toys was king. You got into it knowing all this. All of a sudden now you got to, we can't make a Black Adam because, they already made the best one. So that's what I don't like.
But this is where we get into the hype train too, right? And listen, Inart's just as guilty, right? They came in, instead of trying to do like a little splash and saying, here's our Joker, and people being like, oh, what is this, right? Let's get to know it. A year before that, they were making the rounds on YouTube channels basically about building up that hype, which I guess it worked from a marketing standpoint, but that's how Inart got the attention that they did, right? And I think they believed their own hype a little bit too much. And then I think the realities of the 6-scale market are now hitting them, and they're realizing, listen, people are getting pissed about how you're doing things. People are starting to turn on you. And it's like, get your stuff in order if you want to stay in this game, or otherwise, you're going to fold. People aren't going to have the patience necessarily to stick with you. And all they did, and this is what does aggravate me, right? Because they were coming in as this premium line. Right. All they did was they pushed the price point up for everything.
Yep.
Right. And that's why Hot Toys saw it. That's why Sideshow's now doing $300 figures. Yep. Right. Because they said, oh, people are willing to pay $500, $600 for this.
Yep.
We can move our price point up. Right now, yes, everybody's like, competition is good. I do think that Hot Toys pushed themselves a little bit more just to continue to prove that they're king. And that's why we're getting some of the updates that we are. Absolutely. Maybe we would have gotten them eventually. So I do appreciate that. But ultimately, I think what we got was Inart came into the market and showed that the price point people were willing to pay was a little higher, or a lot higher. Absolutely. And it just moved the needle up, and that's what we have to deal with now.
And it's annoying. It's annoying because, look, now they left us with the higher pricing, and they're making rocks, and we're still paying higher pricing.
Justifying $330 for Beetlejuice, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty much where we are.
Disgusting. And obviously, guys, what you've all been waiting for, last but not least, let's get started. All right, guys. So we have a little post here from Yost, I'm assuming from his group. I'm going to read it for you guys because we're going to get balls deep into this. And this is the personality trait I was trying to tell you guys about, which is kind of a slap in the face, kind of disgusting, but you guys decide. So he says, right now, the wait list has jumped to almost 200 people, 200 retards, in a week's time. So I don't know. If you are early, then still a good chance. But if you just add it yourself, it might be a while before you hear anything, and chances are slimmer. Brad says, Yost, allow me to translate. Get on board now and keep the faith. I hope that's not our Brad. Oh, my God. I hope that's not our Brad. Brad, if your last name is Dillinger, you're dead to me. Cassandra, is Brad's last name Dillinger? You better say no, Cassandra. You better say no.
I'm doing.
Let me know if this is Peasant Brad on the screen. So then he responds, Brad Dillinger, let's just say that it seems once again, the vast majority of people are not fooled by the contrived drama of non-issues. Can you imagine the nutsack on this guy? and even write out lies. Who is lying about your shitty product? Nobody. Okay? It's the usual people who have done this before, and despite this, we have been growing year on year. Everything is sold out. Waitlists keep growing, and our stuff on the secondary market keeps growing in value. Holy shit. Okay? So, I'm going to start, Rudy. Let me
Yo, you go. Do your thing, man.
yeah, let me rock first, and then all right. Number one, guys. Number one. You would assume and you would think that there would be some humility coming from this guy, that there would be some decency coming from him regarding this whole issue. Nobody's lying, okay? Nobody's lying about the crap that you make. Nobody's lying. I have crap here, sitting here behind me. Nefty has had 10 crap vehicles from your company with issues. So who's lying? Who's lying? Who's making up lies about your business? Nobody's going to come up with a lie and say, hey, my vehicle came broken and scuffed and damaged when it wasn't. So nobody's lying. That's number one. So let's get that straight. Nobody's lying on you. Nobody has an incentive to lie on you and your company and your product. For what? Who are you that they need to lie about? Who are you that anybody needs to lie about? That what? You're making so much money that somebody's got to lie on you? No, at least I'm not. I can tell you that. So I don't know who's lying about what exactly, but I can tell you on this channel, not one person ever being on this channel has lied about anything regarding anything, especially Jazzinc products. I personally have never lied about any Jazzinc products ever. I've told my story over and over and over, and anybody could go back and check every single video, every single stream, and every single post that I've made about Jazzinc. It'll say the exact same thing because I've only spoken on my experiences and what I've dealt with regarding my 66, which was the only issue I had. Okay? I'm going to repeat it again for those who don't know. I own the Vulture that he made years ago, the very first figure he made. I own the BVS 66 Deluxe, which again, I loved. I've said it multiple times. I love the thing. It's hollow. It feels very cheap. The attachment pieces are magnetic glue with hot glue, right? The magnets are glued on with hot glue. Everything feels cheap. Everything feels, again, I love the vehicle. It was not worth whatever the hell I paid for it, which $1,600, $1,500, $1,700, whatever it was not worth it, but I love the vehicle. The 66 is a disaster. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. Everybody saw it. So I never lied about any of your products. Nobody's lying about anything that you've done because it comes from the people who own the products. Nobody is not buying anything from you and then saying, hey, I got a broken anything from Jazzinc. So nobody's lying. Okay, I don't know who you're talking about, who that's lying. It ain't from this channel. Okay, number two, again, there's no humility, very arrogant, very cocky, as if everybody in the community is lying and wrong about the garbage. But again, the idiots, just because there are idiots still falling for it and still shopping with you and still hitting the wait list and still giving you $2,000 for ship product, that's their problem. That doesn't mean anybody's lying. That doesn't mean that anybody's wrong just because people keep falling for the bullshit. That's what I'm annoyed about now. I've never had an issue with him. Obviously, personally, I've always said and I will always say, when I had the issue with the 66, very clear, very immediately, he said, oh, I'll send you a new one. I'll take care. I've always said it. I will say it every single time because I don't need to lie about that company. I don't need to lie about any company. What do I get out of lying on somebody? Nothing. I don't benefit from lying. I don't benefit from making shit up about any company or any product. So again, I wish he mentioned who's lying about this because anybody speaking on these products is from experience. They either got something that was ruined or damaged or broken or whatever, right? Whether it was wheels, whether it was, lights, whether it was turbines, whatever it was, something came ruined. Therefore, it's a topic of conversation. Nobody is going out of their way to say, hey, I just bought a Jazzinc this and it's broken when they didn't even have it, or when it didn't come broken or damaged or stuff. So who's lying? I would love to know who's lying. Rudy.
I think you said it best. It comes across arrogant, right? That's the thing. And again, I've had no issues with a Yost personally, right? I think I had one exchange with him on my 22 Batmobile review,
which you're going to get into.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit, right? Because there's a lot that went on with Jazzinc this week, right? And it's a lot to process. But this kind of, it's just interesting to me because I'll tell you, I don't have as many products as you do. I have the 22 Batmobile, which frankly, my issues with that vehicle weren't even related to the anything not working. I got the lights working. That was fine. I just had other issues with the vehicle where I didn't feel that it was worth $1,800. Right. When you look at it, right. And I even had a comment because this is the other thing. And I think we've seen a lot of that this week. And starting from the weekend, right, from when Justin posted his review of the 89 Batmobile to now, there's been a ton of support for Jazzinc as well. And there's been this criticism.
They've always supported him. That's the crazy thing.
But the insanity is if you criticize,
you're
right,
the problem.
and I'm not talking. You're jealous, or you cannot afford these vehicles, and it's
Can you
imagine? And I want to get into those two. Maybe I'll do it now. But right, jealous of what? Of getting a vehicle early? It's like, first of all, if you listen to both of us at least, right? We barely get our things early, right? We usually want to wait and get them for a discount, right? So I'm not going to be jealous if somebody else gets something before me, right? And to just immediately criticize people saying, well, you can't afford this product. I think a lot of us can afford these products, right? We've just chosen not to buy them, right? And we've chosen them for a variety of reasons. You've had issues with it. And personally, again, no issues with the 22 in terms of quality. Well, I had some issues with the wheels, right? But everything lit up. But when you had that piece after the initial excitement wears out off, right? And you see that, because when you take it out of a box, right, you see this massive vehicle. It's impressive, right? It's hard not to be impressed just by the scale. But then you start looking into it. And again, right, we have to measure things by the fact that we're paying so much more for that product. So at that price point, I'm sorry, there's an expectation of different things. And even with the back and forth going on, and I'm going to be rambling a little bit maybe, but there was a comment made too during one of these streams, right? That was, the vehicle has the same issues as every other 6-scale vehicle. And I'm sorry, for me, if the price point were the same as, say, a Hot Toys vehicle, right? Okay, I would expect that. But when you're more than double the price,
correct,
it shouldn't have the same issues that the other vehicles have. So to me, that was something that just immediately registered. And it's like, look, I'm not saying you can't like it, right? You can like the product, you can think it looks great, but let's be honest, right? At $1,800 or more with the shipping, right? You expect something that's just better quality, and it shouldn't. That argument, it's the same as every other 6-scale vehicle, shouldn't hold any weight, right? The only other vehicle in the market,
you shouldn't expect a $2,000 vehicle to come in any other way but pristine, and then not ever have to worry about, man, do I have to send this back? Is this broken? Is it never, ever, ever at $2,000? Never. That's my issue. That's always been my issue. I should not have to worry about anything, getting any products from him that are not perfect, that are not, I understand a thing here and there, a mistake here and there. Fine. It happens to Hot Toys, but every single item, there's a problem. Every single release, there's a problem. Nefty's your number one example, right? 10 out of 10. How lucky is he? Is he a liar? Is he jealous? Can he not afford it?
Right, and even what Sean's not here, right? Hot Toys Nightmare, but he even mentioned, right, every product that he's gotten has had an issue, except for I think the only one was, and it seems like the 22 Batmobile was the only one that didn't have any major like issues out of the box, right? But everything else seems to have some kind of an issue or another. So, you know, and that was actually the other argument that a lot of people were saying in defending Jazzinc. All these people that are criticizing Jazzinc are Hot Toys shills. And it's like, no, let's be honest. If
who
you
said
look
this?
at
Who said this?
there was just a comment floating around Facebook. People were like, "Oh, it's Hot Toys shills." But I'll tell you something.
say
If
it
you
to my
watch
face.
our
Say it
channels,
to my
if you
face.
watch, but if you watch your channel, if you watch my channel, like the review I did of the DeLorean, right, the Hot Toys DeLorean, I didn't even finish it, right? But I still posted it
Right.
because I unboxed it and it had those broken axles and it was an issue. And I didn't say, you know, oh, Hot Toys, you know, I'm going to give them a pass on this. I published that so that other people could see what I dealt with.
You didn't hide it. You didn't wait until you got your replacement to do the video. You didn't wait until you were told by Sideshow, hey, you're getting a replacement so you could do your video in a week. Hey, like none of this happened.
Right.
So,
and
so
look,
whoever said that, whoever said it, I wish you next time when you see comments like that, please screenshot them so we could destroy them on live, because anybody who says that is the real chill. Because number one, Hot Toys has been around longer than Jazzinc forever. Okay, so that alone should tell you that anybody criticizing a company that came out 7, 8, 9 years ago, that and that same person has been collecting a company for about 15 years, shouldn't that make you say, hey, well, this company's been around longer. That person's been collecting that company that's currently the king right now. So wouldn't I take their opinion or expertise seriously since they've been around that long? No, but instead you say dumb shit like that, like an idiot loser that you are, who clearly knows absolutely nothing, and you're kissing the ass of a company that clearly doesn't do a decent product for you guys, and it's charging you more than double than a Hot Toys product is, that is way better done, way better quality, will last you forever. Nothing will break. Nothing will, I mean, not literally, but not literally. I just got a little carried away, but you know, you're not going to get a piece of shit from Hot Toys is my point. You're not. And you're not going to pay $2,000 for a piece of shit to come broken, to come damaged, to come wiggling, to come loose, whatever, and then be called a liar because you bring that up. What?
And look, and I know you guys went over the drama too, right, on Saturday. But one of the things that struck me about this, and I think it's funny that he says it's the same old people that are just trying to stir things up, right? One of the things that struck me about this is the drama that happened, I think, was self-inflicted, right? It was self-inflicted with the YouTubers that got the early batch, the test batch.
Keep it a secret.
Well, yeah, but hear me out. Exactly, hear me out. The thing is, right, Jazzinc, one of the things that has made them this part of the community is they're so open about everything, right? He's like, let me get community feedback. Let me do this. You know, this is where we're doing. This is where we are in the process and everything, right? And look, this test batch, I'm not going to say he didn't mention that it was going to ship out, because he did, right? But he said all these people are going to review it. And then all the people that were in this test group, right, they posted saying the 89 Batmobile from Jazzinc is coming our way, right? We're going to review it. Then they all posted pictures of the plaque or pictures of the box, and they even unboxed it to show the art box inside, right? And then they went radio silent. A lot of them. I'm not going to say all of them, right? Because some of them did post videos. Justin posted a video. Justin's video was suspect because usually he spends like 20 minutes on a trooper, and this was what, a 15-minute video on a vehicle of this scale, right? And that's when you start seeing like some stuff was going on. And then people that had very excitedly said, we're going to review this vehicle, then started posting saying, we have to hold back, right? And they didn't necessarily admit it, but then you started hearing, we're waiting for a replacement. But they didn't elaborate, right? They didn't really say anything. And then what ended up happening is you had people that started questioning it, right? Questioning what's going on. And to me, that's not jealousy. That's not somebody that's jealous. That's somebody who's genuinely interested in what's going on, because for a company that's so open to all of a sudden go radio silent, right? It was like, come on, and exactly, Joker J is right. It was like, and I'm going to call her out by name because I was really impressed. Her name's Helen. I don't know who she is, but she had this very eloquent, list of things that she was noticing that were wrong with the vehicle. And she called it out. And then there were other posts on Facebook that called certain things out. And people took it personally. They started posting response videos. They started saying, the people are calling us liars. And it's like, no, people genuinely wanted to know what happened. And then we found out that what happened was that Yoast had contacted them and asked them, please don't post the review with whatever imperfections there are. Wait for the replacement. And these reviewers decided to support their friend, because let's be honest, they have a relationship with him, and they decided to support their friend. And it finally came out. And honestly, I say it's self-inflicted, because the videos that I've seen of the vehicle, and I think it's two separate conversations. It's the vehicle, what do we think about it?
Right.
And then this whole drama.
The drama,
but
right.
But when you look at the vehicle and you look at the imperfections, it's like, okay, the car doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look bad at all. So why would you cause this drama by telling people don't review the thing after they announced it, that they were going to review it? And you started having people who were watching this saying, what's going on? Why is this happening? Asking legitimate questions. And then we're making those people out to be the bad guys. I'm sorry, they're not. Right? And the arguments that were being made were, it's a test batch. I'm like, if it was a test batch for him to just test shipping, then you know what? You guys should have kept it private. You guys shouldn't have announced it to the world that it was happening. You should have done it, given him his feedback. And then if everything panned out and he said, go ahead, make your review, you would have surprised everybody on YouTube by starting to drop all these reviews, and everybody would have been like, oh my God, look at this. But instead, even though it was a test batch, you put it out there.
The shadiness backfired, and that's what happened.
Right. And then it's like, look, there were some videos that went out and specifically said this is a test batch. Like, you're telling me you couldn't have put out the video and said, look, Jazzinc sent us this vehicle. We paid for this vehicle. It's ours. But he said he wanted a test group of 40 to do this, right, to see how the vehicle turned out and make sure there was no issue during shipping. So what you're seeing here are some imperfections that happen because of the shipping process. But we're going to get into the vehicle because not all of them are shipping issues, right? But you could have done that.
No, one thing that doesn't make sense to me is, what the fuck is the point of a test batch if you can't show it then? What is it? What is the whole point of titling it and naming it a sample batch or a test batch or a test sample, whatever the hell you want to call it, if you can't talk about it or show it? Why send that out anyway? What's the point? What's the point? Just send out everybody's regular copy and leave it at that. You're creating.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing too, right? Because he said if everything panned out with the test batch, he was ready to ship out batch 1, right, to everybody who was in that batch 1 thing. So you've got to realize
that's even worse,
right? So you've got to realize that anything that's brought up that is not necessarily part of the issues that are associated with the shipping, right? Like the magnets on the tires, right, for the bat emblem, there were some issues with that as well, right? The gun doesn't sit right. The canopy's missing something. He can fix those. I'm not saying he can't fix the canopy and provide a liner so that it aligns, but what are you going to do with those magnets, right? Because if you were ready to ship out batch 1, once you start listening to things, it means you were ready, right? So if you shipped out this and this was just part of batch 1, where was the QA/QC, right, for that? Right. Because again, this was a test batch for shipping. Those issues that were pointed out, some of those, look, the gun doesn't stay up straight, right? Okay, you're telling me that's shipping?
But Rudy, the things you're mentioning right now, you're lying right now.
Right? No, see, and then that's where this is where I like some of the comments where, like, we have eyes, right? We're seeing this ourselves.
But you're lying, so it's okay.
But I'm lying, right? But it just, again, all they needed to do, and this is for the YouTubers and for Jazzinc, and look, maybe hindsight is 2020, right? This is Monday morning quarterbacking, whatever you want to say. It could have, should have, would have, right? But again, if you got the test batch, there were issues, put out your video, right? Look at that comment that he just put up about how there are 200 people on the wait list, right? You're telling me people are going to see these videos and going to cancel their car? No way.
Right.
No way. People are going to be like, oh, this is part of the process. He's going to fix it, because everybody that's put out a video now is like, Jazzinc is aware of these issues. Your version will not have these.
Hopefully.
Right?
Hopefully. Because I can
Hopefully.
guarantee you, guys, and listen to this. Listen to this. When those vehicles start shipping, there will be more issues. You heard it here first. You're going to notice more people posting, I have this problem, I have that problem. Remember this conversation, because it's going to happen. There's absolutely no way that he's going to what? Open every vehicle and what? Fix whatever is wrong with them? Absolutely not happening. Remember this conversation. There's no way he's fixing all that stuff. Again, I believe he hopes that people just say, I'm not going to complain about it. Let me just keep it. And that's it. Go ahead.
Right. So I just think it's the same thing, right? If he knew there were issues, he should not have stopped these people from reviewing their vehicle. He should have just said, just please put a disclaimer there. And again, right, he's saying nothing has changed. He's sold out of this. So it's not like he's worried that people aren't going to buy his product,
right?
Because he's sold out.
Exactly. That's why, again, and I said this on Saturday, it doesn't make sense how he operates. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense, because why would you try to hide something that you're going to fix anyway? I would understand if you're trying to tell your friendly YouTubers, hey, guys, don't do that, because I'm not planning on giving anybody replacements or fixing any issues. So I don't want you to show, anything wrong. Let them get their batches, and then I'll come up with whatever he decides to do, right? But he doesn't need to stop the test batch, because if anything, if you're going to call it a test batch, this is your way out of any issues, if anything, right? This is only a test batch. This was only sent out to the 40 YouTubers that I like the most, that are going to kiss my ass and lick my balls, right? So this is why I sent it to them. Any issues that come up out of these 40 will give me a heads up on the rest of the rest of the batches of vehicles, for me to make sure that everything is perfect by the time they start shipping. So he could have turned this whole situation into an entirely new positive experience for people looking forward to their vehicles. But instead, again, this is why I repeat it, being a scumbag backfired. Trying to be sneaky backfired. Trying to hide things from people backfired. You make it very clear that your products are custom to a certain extent, right? They're more custom than any other product. Therefore, if that's the case, we naturally would expect more damage, more errors, more things that could be wrong with the item, because it's a more custom job. At $2,000, absolutely shouldn't be happening.
Right.
After all the years of experience, it shouldn't be happening. And if you can't help it, right? If this is if the only type of product that you can make is a faulty product, is a damaged product, is a cheaper product, then stop charging $2,000 for that product, because clearly you can't handle a product of that level, a product of that magnitude, a product of that value, okay? Because it's starting to feel like we're getting ripped off. Go ahead.
And that was the issue, I think, with the drama, and that's the issue I have with his statement there, right? One, like you said, it feels arrogant, right? His statement about how the thing is sold out, nobody's slowing him down, he's growing. The second, it feels arrogant.
The liars are after him. Imagine
that.
And
again, to blame people that were asking legitimate questions, because you guys, frankly, mishandled this whole situation. Like, even the excuses that were coming out. And look, I've been on YouTube, and I've been seeing some of those people now are posting their videos, even if it's a quick video. This is a look, and they're doing exactly what we said. This is a test batch. This will be fixed, right? So you could have avoided all this drama. There could have been no drama if you just did that from the get-go. So
period.
Look, he wanted to showcase the car in the best light possible. You were sold out. you're sold out. Everybody's bought every car that you have at this point. So what are you doing? So, it's like this drama was of your own cause, right? You did this to yourselves, and now to blame others, and right, also, and to blame anybody who's criticizing you for being a Hot Toy shill, being jealous, being not having the money to be able to afford these products is ridiculous, right? That's a terrible statement. And you know what? And there was one other comment that came up that I thought was interesting. Somebody said they agreed to withhold their review because for people like us that post reviews of figures, we have to consider the future, right? And how somebody in 2 years' time or 3 years' time might take a look at a review we did. And if we criticize this company or this product or say there was something wrong with it, that person might choose not to buy. And I thought I don't agree with that statement, right? Like if that's how you choose to do your reviews, that's fine.
Correct.
But for me, I think
correct. I was just
for
gonna say,
me,
that's a personal choice. Yep.
That's a personal choice. But for me, I think when we do reviews, we want to showcase, what happens and what people are going to expect. And look, I don't think necessarily a smart shopper, right, getting into this market isn't going to just look at one review. They're going to look at a bunch and then make an informed decision, right? Especially if you're talking about a product like this. So if I do a review that's a little critical of a product and somebody says there's a review that's not, and all of a sudden, somebody has at least two different points of view, I think that allows somebody to make an informed decision, right? So I don't know that we necessarily need to be looking out for these companies, right? I think they're looking out for them because there's a relationship there, right? But you see it, like I've done it with Hot Toys, I've done it with third party, I've done it with Jazzinc, where I've aired my criticisms, and there's this feeling now, not in everybody in the community.
You mostly do it with third party, but go ahead.
I mostly do it with third party, but but there's this feeling, right, that criticism is a bad thing, and that criticism means we're immediately haters.
Correct.
And that's not the case. I mean, I think when nobody's asked us to go on YouTube and do these video reviews, right, we're doing this because we want to. Correct. And I personally think, again, everybody does what they want, but for me, I want to air anything that's wrong with the thing. And look, I'm gonna throw his name out there. Justin did a review on the third party Cull Obsidian from, what was it, Toys Battalion or Infamous Toys? Yeah. Right? And I had done the review actually because I got mine from Kit. I think I'd done mine like a couple of weeks before his. And basically I trashed it because there were so many things wrong with that figure. Right? The joints were off, the thing couldn't stand.
It was a paperweight.
It was a paperweight. I still have, like, if you see my reviews, I still have the scratches on my wall from how that thing toppled like 3 times, right? And I keep it as like a badge of courage, right? But I remember doing my review, and I was critical, and I said, look, unless you're trying to complete the line, I wouldn't recommend you spending this money on this, right? That was my recommendation, my personal take on it.
Of course.
I see Justin's review, and everything is perfect, and I'm literally seeing the same issues with his that I had with mine, and I'm like, that's an interesting approach.
And you know what's crazy about that? And this is what's, one of the things that's really messed up when that happens. Number one, it makes, because he's got the viewership and he's got, the numbers, somebody that watches that video and then goes to your video, they look at you as like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about because the king just did it and he said everything's perfect. So this guy must have gotten a bad one and he got a good one. Right. No, that's 100% what happened. So they look at your channel as, this guy may not know so much because, or he got a bad figure because, look, everything he's talking about is negative and it's not good. And look what's happening. He may not know much, but this guy, look, his is perfect. Look how nice how much he likes it. Look at all the positive things. That's why it becomes a problem.
And I think there's nothing wrong with criticism. And that's the thing, right? We may like different things, right? Somebody might say, you know what? I don't like that figure because I just don't like the property. I don't like the way it looks. And that's fine, right? We're all allowed to have different opinions. Right. But to say criticizing a company is going to adversely impact their future revenue because someone might see our review, it's like, who cares? That's not my responsibility.
Thank you. And exactly, who cares is right, because the job of the company is to make a decent product, or at least make a product worth what they're charging for it. Right? That's it. If they fail at that, my responsibility is, hey, I just paid this much money for this product that is nowhere near up to par to what it's supposed to be. I don't feel like I paid, what at least what it's supposed to be like. It's not anywhere near what I paid. All of that is fair. If you don't do what you were supposed to do as a company, anything's fair. That's your problem, and that's your responsibility.
Right. So that was kind of this conversation that was happening. And what really, so that post from him again cracked me up, because you're blaming people that really had nothing to say, right? Nothing bad to say. They were just asking questions, legitimate questions. And that was it. And it's almost like if you had let your product do the talking, because now I'm going to get into the product a little bit, right? Just from the comparison pictures that we've been starting to see, it's bigger than the Hot Toys one.
Of course.
I think the paint app actually looks pretty decent. Now, there's no close-ups, right? Is that the way you're going to get it? If the paint app works, that thing looks fantastic, right? I think the vehicle overall has its issues, right? Which to me, it's not worth the money that you're paying for. But I think to certain people, it looks like the better product, right? Just from the comparison pictures. Is that how it's going to turn out? We'll wait to see. I can't wait to see Nefty's in hand, right? Because I think that's going to be someone real there that's going to give us, some good pointers on what's going on. And again, even if there are some issues with it, I'm sure Nefty might be happy with it. For me, I think what the thing is, at that price point, I expect almost no issues. And for me, the fact that those wheel logos, the magnets aren't aligned, that's not a shipping issue, right? Let's be honest. That's an issue with the vehicle.
Absolutely. And that's another thing. They try to blame everything to everything else, not the actual issue. And I don't like that.
Right. And I think so. If he had just let the product do the talking for him, we wouldn't be here. And like you said, he could have turned this into a big positive. And instead, everybody's like, now everybody that's criticizing them, they're haters, right? I'm the victim.
You're a liar.
We're liars.
You're a liar. Yo, can you imagine? Can you imagine the arrogance? Can you imagine? Everybody's wrong. My product is not bad. My product is great. You're a hater. You're a liar. Stop lying on my product because I make great product. Meanwhile, again, how lucky is Nefty? 10 out of 10.
Right.
How lucky do you have to be to get 10 out of 10 vehicles damaged? But we're the liars. We're the problem. The hell out of here.
And look, again, right? I think the point he made is valid. He's already sold out on this car. And that's what I keep going on to. It's you already sold out on this. So why try to hide these reviews, right? These early reviews.
Exactly.
Everybody knew it was a test batch. Everybody knew there might be issues. So why did you try to hide it? Especially for a company that prides itself on being fully transparent, engaging with the community and doing this. It was such a reversal. And that's what threw people off. And then to blame the people asking the questions, that again, right? It was mishandled, right? I think it was mishandled by the YouTubers that had gotten this early batch. Some of them, right? Not all of them, because some of them did post their reviews. And I think it was mishandled by Jazzinc, because instead of kind of saying, all right, this is what happened. We made a mistake. Let's let everybody do the review so that you could see that there's no real issue, that the car still looks great. Right. Instead, he goes on YouTube and he posts a 5-minute video saying, I don't know why everybody's complaining. Right. There are just issues with the shipping. This was a test batch. It's like, come on, just show it. You could have avoided this. So look, does it change anything that's happening with the vehicle? Not really. You sold out. People are going to be getting this in hand soon. Right.
Correct.
It was unnecessary drama that came in.
Correct.
And unfortunately, the people that are getting blamed, I don't think are the people that are responsible for it at all. Right. I think people ask some legitimate questions.
Perfect spot to stop you at. Chris, how are you, my friend? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Can I ask you this, Rudy? Joker J mentioned something on Saturday, and he mentioned, or his take on this was, he doesn't see it as the YouTubers being malicious about trying to keep this private, trying to hide it, trying to, hook up their buddy, obviously, so he doesn't get bad reviews, or, his product isn't looking bad, in our eyes.
Right.
I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, do you think it was malicious?
No, because you mentioned so the maliciousness. Yeah. So Joker J mentions, he says, I don't think it's malicious, but blah blah blah. I said the same thing. I don't think it's malicious. In the moment, I said, I don't think it's malicious either. I was nodding my head when he said it. But I was thinking about it, right? How non-malicious is a lie, right? How non-malicious is hoping that you help your buddy get over on people who are paying $2,000 plus for a vehicle, because that's what it feels like it's happening, right? They're covering up something that may hurt the reputation of Jazzinc, may hurt sales of Jazzinc. So these people are risking their own names, their own channels to protect and defend a company that is telling them, hey, I'm hooking you up with this vehicle early at a discount. Make sure that you don't make me look bad. Therefore, what are they going to do? They can't make that company look bad because they just got a discount so they can make money on YouTube. They got their vehicles sent to them first so they can make money on YouTube, so they can get that clout. So one hand washes the other. This is where the maliciousness comes in, right? So you're purposely aiming to hurt other people's, whether it's directly or indirectly, but somebody is getting hurt. Period. Because if you are hiding these things and you get the vehicle, right? You pay for your vehicle, you get, how come I wasn't told about this? Maybe I could have canceled. Maybe I didn't want this like this. Maybe I don't want to deal with a replacement. I've been waiting for this vehicle for 2 years. I don't want to have to wait another 3 months to send it back and get a replacement. So all these things matter. Everything matters. Rudy.
It's an interesting point. Look, and I'm gonna take, and maybe you'll think it's naive, right? But I'm gonna take people at face value when they said they paid full price for it, right? I think some of them even posted their invoices. So look, I think they paid full price. I think there's a relationship there, right?
Wait. You really don't believe they got a discount getting this stuff early? Are you kidding me?
Look, and again, I'm based on what people post. No, I would logically think you're right.
Absolutely. No, that's my point. Right. Logically, be logical. Don't be hypothetical.
But even if let's take them at face value, right? Because I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take them at face value. Even with that, right? Even if they had paid, let's say they did it. They paid full price, right? And I think right now I have no evidence to the contrary, right? So they paid full price. There's a relationship there with Yost, right? Like they're friends. Like I don't think there's any denying, based on the streams that he does with them, that there's a really good relationship that these people have built up with him. And they decided that they wanted to help their friend, right? Their friend came in and said, look, I don't want my vehicle showcased in this light. I'll send you a replacement. And instead of them doing what I would have done, and what some people actually did, which was, listen, I'm going to post up my video. I'm going to put disclaimers on it, but people are expecting this. They decided to back up their friend. Do I think that's malicious? I think it may have malicious consequences.
That's
but but I don't think it was necessarily something that they were doing to defraud people. Right, I think they were genuinely thinking
that's where it gets. Thank you. Well, that's where it gets malicious, because it's not so much that you may have the intent to be malicious, but somebody will end up getting hurt. That's where the maliciousness comes in. You may be thinking in your head, well, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just omitting things from the review. I'm not showing, everything that I'm experiencing.
Right.
Why are you lying then? If nobody's going to get hurt and it shouldn't be a problem, why the lie?
Right. And look, I think what you're seeing now is there's an attempt to course correct, right? There's an attempt that you're starting to see the people that withheld those reviews, right, at Jazzinc's request, they're starting to post them. So I do think Jazzinc realized we made a mistake. We effed up, right? We should have just posted this. And he's now contacted his friends and said, go ahead, post your video. I'd rather not deal with it. So I think what you're seeing is that on his end, he wanted to display his vehicle in the best light possible. I get that. It's his product. This is going to be his pride and joy, right? I think it's probably going to be the best vehicle he makes given the support.
Can you imagine?
But then, right, and then you look at his YouTube, partners, right? I think they were trying to help him, and now they got caught up, and I think they're realizing they caused them themselves, and now they're trying to course correct. Is it a little too late? No, I don't think so, because I don't think anybody's going to change their mind on this vehicle. I think people that already bought this vehicle bought it, and I think even with the imperfections that have been pointed out, right, even if they were to get that with the magnets, people would come up with a solution. I think people are going to look overall at this piece, and this is where I think he shot himself in the foot, because I think had he shown this, you're 100% right. This could have turned into a huge positive for him. Now they're course correcting. So if they hadn't course corrected, I'd agree with you. But I think now he's like, all right, cat's out of the bag. It's not that bad. For what they're showing, what the issues are, like we'll see once more people start getting them in hand, right? But
that's when you're really going to find out.
But for this immediate test batch, the stuff that was wrong with the vehicle wasn't that bad. The worst thing, which wasn't part of shipping, is that they were missing that gasket for the canopy, and that was why it was misaligned, right? That's not a shipping issue. That's something that has been brought up on videos that they're aware of, they're going to fix. And that's where the maliciousness conversation kind of loses it. I think if they hadn't fessed up, right, and now tried to do something, I think, okay, they're still trying to hide it. But I think they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, right? I don't think they were doing it on purpose to be mean. I think, again, they were trying to help their friends.
Yeah, but you don't understand. But you keep saying this. You keep saying help their friend. Where do you think they got the idea to help their friend? From their friend.
Yeah. Well, he asked them. Yeah, he asked them.
So it wasn't even. So it doesn't even come from them. They were told to deceive the public.
Right. And listen,
that's the problem.
Listen, the people that posted their videos even mentioned, he reached out. He said he'd prefer that we not do it. But ultimately, it's their vehicle, right? So, again, the people that chose not to air their things decided to help their friend at his request, right? And now everybody's putting out their videos. So it's like, all right, it's just
because
this whole drama. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Remember, the whole point of getting these early batches was to show everybody that they got them in hand, right? Not to hide them. Like, why would you get something early, something cheaper, to keep it hidden until you get another one?
And again, to me, the second you called it a test batch or reviewer batch,
exactly,
right? It's like all these.
It's implied in the title.
All these reviewers had to do was basically acknowledge that. And basically say, and I think that's what some of the reviewers did. They said, this is a test batch. Jazzinc is aware of this, right? And that's the other thing, right? There were some people on some of these streams saying people that are posting their reviews now, they're haters, that we know they're going to be negative. And then when you look at the reviews that came out, they weren't negative. They were just calling out some flaws. And again, it goes back to that point. Criticism of a product does not make you a hater.
Correct.
It doesn't mean you're a negative person. Especially for a test batch, which is supposed to inform what's coming next, right? For the general customer base, right? This is what you want. You want that feedback. So as a customer, for me to see people calling out certain things and at least hearing Jazzinc is going to fix these, what's the problem with that? And I think, again, this whole mess, it was handled poorly on their end, right? On the Jazzinc end. Unnecessary. Now we're here, and at the end of the day, what's going to happen? People are going to get their vehicles. Nefty's going to be super happy with his Jazzinc Batmobile, right? And you're going to help him glue those bat signals on the hub, right? But No, but seriously, I really hope for Nefty. I hope Nefty ends up with
absolutely.
a great looking vehicle. And again, from the first snapshots, it does look better than the Hot Toys, right? But it should at $1,800.
At $2
If
grand,
it doesn't
it
look,
better be.
it doesn't. If it's not better than the Hot Toys, there's an issue, right? So,
Right.
that's not surprising. But again, the product just in the comparison shots can speak for itself. So this whole thing was just unnecessary drama, and I would almost appreciate him, like you said, being a little more humble and saying, you know what, I wanted my product represented in the best light. That's why I asked these people not to do it. But instead, the way he's saying it is like these
everybody's
same
the
people
problem,
are trying
but
to
him.
make drama. People are lying. People are doing this. That's what I don't like, right? That's where things got. That's where I think instead of taking a step back and saying, you know, we made a mistake. This is what was going on, right? He's blaming other people, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, disgusting, very immature. And again, maybe the fact that he's in Europe, he's used to so much censorship at the moment that he wants everybody to be censored. I don't know. But it's unnecessary. All of it was unnecessary. This could have been, the easiest thing. Guys, I came up with an idea. This is the test batch, the test pieces, the test samples, do your video, whatever comes up, show them so I know what to look for, for the future batches. That's it. Just be the more transparent, the more real you are as a company. Guess what? It gets people to trust you more because at least you're showing everything that's going to get fixed. And the problem is you fix, and I will always continue to say it. He fixes it anyway. You know what I mean? So what is the problem? What do you need to hide?
And this is where he's a victim of his own decisions, right? Because he's chosen to be extremely transparent with the community, right? And to showcase every step of the process. So again, when you're that transparent, right? People criticize Hot Toys. Like, we don't know what Hot Toys is thinking, right? And you know what? There's a reason why they do that. Because look at the shitstorm that ends up happening once you start being transparent and then you go quiet. Look at what's happening with Inart. John was on every stream saying, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing that. Then he was at San Diego Comic-Con when the news dropped about the Joker. And now, has he even done a stream? I don't think he's been on anything at this point, right? And Inart's like radio silent at this point.
Well, they're making rock.
Right, but that's the thing, right? When your marketing is transparency, then be transparent, right? Because that's what we've come to expect. And when things aren't transparent, people are going to ask questions because nobody asks questions of these other companies, right? We've seen them. Hot Toys, 3-0, Damn Toys. They don't go around parading and doing interviews with people and saying this is what's going to come out. You get your product when you get it. They cancel products sometimes and you don't even know why. They're radio silent. You get what you get and you don't get upset, right? Or you do get upset, but what are you going to do about it, right? We don't get as upset with them because that's the way they operate. The reason people were getting upset with this is he has put himself in there as the image of transparency. Right, you're going to be along with me for every step of the ride. Yep. If he didn't want this going out, he should have told all these people, just give me what the issues are. Don't post any videos. If there's an issue, I'll replace it for you with the final one, right? But just help me out with this. And instead, everybody was saying, I've got the vehicle, I'm going to review it. And that's when issues started happening. So could have been avoided.
Absolutely.
Right? And unfortunately it didn't. And it's just like, I think a little step back and just say, you know what, we did something, didn't work out. It wasn't the right move. We accept that. Let's move on. But instead, it's like now they're doubling down and it's like, well, we've got liars, we've got this. And that leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
It's a turnoff.
It's a turnoff for the company.
Right. And, he's the face of the company. So forget it. It ruins everything. Put the bad taste in your mouth. Again, I'm done with the company, so it doesn't do anything for me. But I'm just pointing out, the attitude. I'm pointing out the arrogance. I'm pointing out the cockiness. I'm pointing out, these things that they're, the lack of humility, as a person, right? All right, guys, I messed up, or don't worry about it. Whatever comes out, as long as you get your piece, it'll be fixed. Don't worry about it. It's very simple. But to try to blame everybody as a liar or call everybody a liar or everybody that has a problem with it is just a hater. Like who are you? Like, where do you get off that you think your product is that product? Where do you get off that your product is so valuable and so amazing that it's the one product to bash and to put down? And no, nobody has time to lie on your product. Who is your product? What is your product?
Right.
That it's so important. You just got licensed last year. Before that, you were making illegal stuff. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Where does the arrogance come from? You were illegal last year. What are you talking about? Right. All of a sudden, you know, and again, the same attitude when talking about you know, the other companies. Oh, the illegal and not. You were illegal too. So again, arrogance, again, cockiness, again. You forgot that you were illegal at one point. And I brought this up and I talked about this before too. Same exact way. Because you're for some reason you're untouchable. Your product.
Frankly, if anything, like you said, this episode leaves a bad taste in your mouth, right, about the company. And the responses he's starting to give about some of the things, and I don't know Yost personally, right? We don't have that relationship, right? None of us do.
Oh, we hang out.
But he could be a great guy. He could be nice, but the way he's coming across to me, right? And maybe you guys, other people will say we're reading too much into it, but the way it's coming across with the posts, with again, not even accepting that maybe they made a mistake here. And blaming others, it's really coming across in a bad light.
Yep.
Right. And like you said, we had forgiven because we talked about the illegal comment about companies, and we said, look, we were giving him a pass too, because we said when you're trying to work to get a license and somebody else kind of beats you to the punch with an unlicensed product, okay, you have a right to be upset. But again, now you're starting to see a trend happening. Right.
Yep.
And look,
and Sean, and funny you mentioned Sean. Shout out to Sean, Hot Toys Nightmare. He had mentioned a story, and I brought it up a few weeks ago, but he told me the story, and I don't really remember the story or know the story, but it was another story of him being a cocky asshole, a very arrogant asshole about whatever the story was. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, he said that to somebody. I said, there's no way he said that. He goes, yep, it was in a group publicly. I forgot, or on a stream apparently or something, that somebody had asked him something, and he goes, well, you don't ask Hot Toys what? Oh, yes. So it had to do something with what a type of material that he was using for whatever product. And somebody asked him on stream, you know, what are you using? And what resin are you using? And then he goes, well, you don't ask Hot Toys what resin they use, so why are you asking me? And they were like, because if you don't use the right one, you may get sick because it's a chemical. And apparently, according to Sean, he never answered the question. So can you imagine? You don't have Hot Toys, so why do I have to answer? What?
But again, the whole point, your whole shtick right now is transparency, right? Correct. Your whole thing is I'm separating myself from Hot Toys by engaging with the community. So correct. Listen, I didn't watch that. So, but you know, that seems strange to me. And then even I think we were talking about the guy that had the Batwing, that after a year the lights turned off, right?
Oh, right.
And the response that he got, right? The guy wasn't even looking for a refund, right? Because the guy posted videos, right? He posted comments, right? The guy was just asking for help. How do I fix this?
Right.
Help me fix it, right? I'm not asking you for money back. It's been a year. And the way that the Jazzinc response was, it was very much like kind of it's your problem, which again, I'm not saying he's wrong.
It was a year later, so
it was a year later, so I can accept it.
Right.
But at least, you know, and maybe there'd been a conversation that happened behind the scenes, so that's why he was pissed. But it just came across as like, look, this guy is just looking for help, right? And if you're such a member of the community, why not help somebody that's bought your product, your very expensive $3,000 or $3,500 product,
correct?
And is just asking for some insights into how he can fix the issue,
exactly.
Right. And actually today, you know what was interesting? And I didn't take a snapshot of it, but there was another conversation going on in one of the chats, and somebody said that they were asking a question for somebody on Reddit or something, or on a chat group, and there was some issue about the paint on the tires for the 89, and Jazzinc Yost responded and basically said, it's very presumptuous of you to assume there's a paint issue. And to me, I read that, and listen, it's starting to create this trend, right? Where it's like he doesn't like criticism, right? And I'm like, the guy wasn't saying anything bad, right? The guy was just asking a question for somebody else.
Right.
And I feel like, listen, if you're getting tired because people keep on asking you questions, all right, but you put yourself in this position where you're open and you're communicating. So, you know, I don't know. It's starting to smell a little. It's left a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh no, of course. My bad taste was my 66 unboxing. We got Will, my friend. Welcome. Says greetings. All debate was like Jazzinc and Inart's QC, man. Yeah, I could have told you guys that. That's why Nefty left us hanging over this.
Well, no. Did we tell everybody? Everybody knows Nefty is just concerned to be associated with us because Yost is going to hold his Batmobile hostage.
He wants to be able to get his by 2028. And also, guys, last but not least, some old news that I completely forgot to talk about, and I just want to get Rudy's take on this. So, Josh Brolin as Hal Jordan. How do you feel about this? Do you think it's going to be exciting? Remember, this is for a series coming out, not for a movie. The fact that they're picking an older man, right? Josh Brolin as a Hal Jordan. Do you think it's a good move? Do you think it's going to be good? What do you expect out of the show?
Listen, Green Lantern could be really good, right?
Yep.
That the stories, the comics, they've done some really good storylines with him. Look, I think Josh Brolin's a great actor. It's interesting that they're going with an older character, right? To me, but then again, everything that James Gunn is kind of doing now with the DC universe, I don't quite have a feel for it, right? The casting looks decent. Right. And we know Josh Brolin is capable of pulling off some great characters. Right. Yeah. So he's a great actor. So I don't think there's an issue with that. I'm gonna withhold. Like, I think it's decent casting. I think it's an interesting approach to go older like this, because, you know, it's Hal Jordan, then what? Kyle Rayner, then John Stewart. Right. You've got all these other Green Lanterns. So is it he's just in a mentor position at this point?
I think it is. I think because the who's the black guy again?
John Stewart, right?
John Stewart is going to be probably the main guy,
right? Because then you have Guy Gardner. You have Kyle Rayner I think he becomes something else. Like, he doesn't even become a Green Lantern. So you've got all these other ones,
right?
So it's interesting, and I think the show is supposed to be like the Green Lantern Corps. It's not just Green Lantern, right?
No, it is Green Lantern Corps, right?
Right. So I'm curious. I think I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, right? We'll know when we see the Superman trailer and when we see Superman come out, we'll get a feel for what they're trying to build. And if it's something worth, kind of hyping up, but not bad. I think it will be.
I think this is going to be DC's way of, trying to, I'm not going to say catch up to Marvel, but at least do their own thing like Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, at least try to make some decent stuff out of Marvel. I mean, like Marvel, not out of Marvel, out of DC. All right, guys. Rudy, anything else you want to say? You want to let them know what you were expecting? I think you did tell them already, but
yeah, it's so I got Mantis coming finally, Groot from Guardians Volume 3, and then I've got the gantry and the Mark 6. And like I said, I got the shipping notice for Grand Admiral, not the shipping, but the invoice for Grand Admiral Thrawn that he's charging on the 12th. Yes. So,
so you're expecting Mantis and Iron Man Mark 6 with the gantry, which are Groot. 2 figures, and Groot, right? So I already have Mantis and Mark 6. So are you collecting backwards, or because I've had them for like a couple weeks? I don't know what's
couple weeks. You beat me to the punch on those, man. Where's your Groot? Where's your Groot?
I didn't get my notification. Did I get my? No, I didn't get my notification yet. But
where's your Jake Sully and your Natiri?
Oh, hey man, hey, I collect. Okay, I collect. All right, guys. So what am I expecting? Yeah, I'm expecting my second Mighty Thor. I'm expecting, like I said, I told you my Obi-Wans are shipping. They're already shipped. I forget what else is coming. But obviously I'll keep you guys updated. So as always, guys, thank you guys for watching. and I'll see you in the next one.